Yeah, I was not expecting that. Okay, where are we? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to whatever the hell this is. Monkey in the Morning, I think. I'm Monkey. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
That was almost an opening.
Almost.
I
With
got
apologies to Frosted Glass for bailing on him earlier.
I got distracted by green vagina. Sorry, guys.
He did.
We'll get to that in a minute. Jack, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Not too bad. Like I was telling you, I my sleep has just been so broken. I've had plenty of it. It's just so broken that I don't know if I'm going to do a drunk stream or just get drunk on my own, sad in my room by myself. But I'm gonna get a pass out sleep here soon if that doesn't change. But I'm happy. I'm in a very good mood and raring to go. Most things don't hurt, so that's a good day, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I'm tired, but I can't really complain beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, I can deal with tired. Fuck tired, man.
Fuck sleep. What's it ever done for you? Like
Fuck
Terry
tired.
said, if you have to hallucinate to kill the time, it's not fun.
Fuck tired and baby Jesus. All right. Let's talk about that green vagina for a second. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3. And when you first load up Baldur's Gate 3, I think I told you guys this. I don't remember if I only said it on the game stream, but it asks you, hey, do you want nudity on? I've seen video game nudity before. It's usually like a nip slip, right? I get to this one scene where the Githyanki chick in it, which is kind of a green lizard person, guys. She's like, hey, you want to bang? And I was like, yeah, I'm depraved enough to watch video game characters bang. And so the humpity hump starts, and sure enough, she's naked, and you see boobs, right? And then it slowly pans down, and there was green vagina there. Now, it's not like open or anything. This isn't like a Penthouse spread. It's more like a Playboy kind of thing, right? You can see that she's very good at her shaving, and that there's a clear separation between skin down there.
Well, I don't think they need to shave if they're like lizard people.
Yeah, I don't know if they do or not. She has hair on her head, I think. And then when it's all over, you get up, and as you get up, it's the camera's right behind you if you're playing as a human character. And so you see your butt and then your ball sack.
Ew.
I'm like, I did not need to see my ball sack. But it got me to thinking, Jack. Got me thinking, because video games today, it's not like it used to be where the characters are all made in a 3D animator. These days, your bigger games are all made with motion capture.
So that's some chick's actual vag?
I don't know. I was wondering, like, did they kind of do that in post, or did they actually have her, naked and have somebody had to go through and put the little dots on each side of her lady garden?
Okay, so I'm going to explain how this is done, Monkey, just so you know.
All right.
Sam Bankman-Fried look-alike and that weird-looking chick that he was banging,
yeah.
Those are the people that are programming games. Two of them hooked up, they put on the motion capture balls and filmed it, and then they just went in and adjusted their fat, weird-shaped bodies. But that's some actual nerd girl's vag.
All right,
there you go.
Explain maybe it is. Peterbilt asked what game it is. It's Baldur's Gate 3, which was pointed out to me in my game streams. I was spelling wrong. I keep wanting to do ER and it's UR, which I got proper in my original playthrough way back when it first came out. But for some reason in this playthrough, I spelled it wrong.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah, it does. Have you seen the D&D movie?
The new one? No.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it.
I watched it last night.
Oh, how was it?
Not bad. Kind of predictable in parts.
Mm-hmm. Lots of girl power.
Lots of girl power. But it's not overly done. I mean, it was forgivable, I think. The two male characters are kind of inept.
Yeah, because they got to have the women's to be the bestest ever.
Well, I mean, they have the two male characters. One's a bard and the other one's a warlock. So, I mean, they're kind of going to suck anyway, aren't they?
They've improved them quite a bit, but yeah, I mean, they're gonna turn them into pussies anyway because they gotta be like, well, the girls have to be the tough ones because men are stupid.
It wasn't too bad. It was predictable though. The main driving quest is very predictable, but it wasn't a bad movie. To me, it was kind of like a better version of the World of Warcraft. Oh, sorry, the Warcraft movie. It wasn't World of Warcraft. Where it's got really good visuals and stuff in it, but it had a slightly better story. Slightly better. But only if you don't know how to play a bard. Bards suck.
They're actually not that bad since 3.5. They suck on principle.
Hey, there you go.
Because they're just lazy rogues that sing.
Thank you. Just play a fucking rogue. Jesus. Anyhow.
Yeah.
No, but I decided, I'm playing D&D again. I'm like, I wonder how good the movie is. So I watched it. And yeah, it wasn't bad. I wasn't mad at the movie, Jack. I am mad at CNN, though. You want to get into some stories? Let's do some stories.
Okay.
And I was mad at this one just because it's kind of stupid. This is from Madeline Holcomb. Holcomb. I'm calling her Holcomby. When I started reading the story, I immediately scrolled back up. I'm like, this is written by a woman, isn't it? It said, how being a gray rock can protect you against narcissists.
What's a gray rock?
Good question. If you have that person in your life who drags you into their unending drama, games, and conflicts, there may be an answer. Become a gray rock. Gray rocking is a strategy to deal with narcissists, those who depend on feeling important or special, and it essentially involves responding to them in bland, boring ways until they lose interest, said Dr. W. Keith Campbell, professor of psychology at the University of Georgia. So basically, don't feed their bullshit, Jack.
Gunswatter said spelled gay wrong.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Look, I think that is actually a good strategy. I don't think it's just narcissists, though. I think a lot of attention seekers who sometimes it's well, I mean, I guess there's a bit of narcissism in there, but just people who need attention, not because they're narcissists, but because they just feed off of it, like your trans trenders.
Yeah.
Your trans trender who also has fibromyalgia and
more gallons. Don't forget more gallons.
Yeah, I mean, they have everything under the sun, and it's just their way of getting attention because they don't know how to deal with people on a normal level.
Yeah, they think that everything's about them.
Yeah, which I guess is narcissism, but that's not what I think of as the classic narcissist. Somebody who's just, I'm so beautiful and great.
Yeah. They're more like, oh, well, anybody look at me?
Yes,
Mom and Dad always did.
It's like begging for it's like a sad narcissist.
Yeah, it's the sad, lonely person narcissism. You look at them and think, you buy the ice cream in the 1 pint and the single serve meals, don't you?
Right, exactly. And what they're talking about here is like when they call you up and tell you that they got lumbago, you're like, oh, all right. Well, I hope you get that taken care of. Instead of being like, oh my God, are you going to be okay? Attention hoe. Exactly, Eagle. Attention hoe. And so in principle, I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, that makes a little bit of sense. But this is the part that bothers me. There's no real research on this, but I've talked to a lot of women in these relationships. That's when I stopped and went back and saw if it was a woman. Anyway, there's no real research.
Wait, no, we can't just let that slide because women are the most egregious offenders of this shit.
True, but one of the problems is that a lot of women, when they break up with somebody, their first thing is to always claim that the guy was a narcissist.
Yeah, or
That's
it was
become
abusive
common.
because he was mean.
Accusing a guy of being a narcissist after you break up is like standard these days.
Ugh. Disgusting.
And look, that doesn't mean that some women weren't with narcissists. It's just there's no fucking way every woman was with a narcissist. It's not possible. Anyway, there's no real research on this, but I talked to a lot of women in these relationships, and I heard from people I really trust about this that this is something effective, Campbell says, and it makes theoretical sense. And I just want to stop there. That's all I want to read of this article. Because CNN is quoting a psychologist who's saying there's no research.
I find that highly suspect.
Instead, all they did was talk to a couple of women and some people they trust.
Yeah. That psychologist was a woman too, wasn't she?
I don't, well, their middle name is Keith, so I don't think so. But
you don't know how they identify.
If you want to sell psychology, you cater it to women.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Same with sociology.
Yeah. And that's not being mean to you women, but it's very easy to manipulate women with psychology. And I don't mean using psychology, but feeding you bullshit psychology.
When you guys clip that, just cut it off after he says it's easy to manipulate women.
Yeah, it is easy to manipulate women. Sorry, ladies. It just is. You're so pretty. Oh my God. Nobody's told me that since Dad went and got cigarettes. Anyhow.
It's all about finding the right kind of women.
I just fucking love this, that they're putting this out there from a psychologist without, there's no research on this. That should have been the end of the article. Darren asks, how is this about nukes? This isn't. We cover several stories, and I'm kind of, what's the word? I'm stretching right now until we get to that story. Don't worry about
eating.
it. Yeah, Jack's eating. So I decided to cover some of the other stuff first. Green vagina and psychologists who reference women they talk to.
See, for those of you that are new to the show, Monkey likes to send me the link right after I start up either the microwave or the toaster oven. So I don't always get to eat my lunch.
It's not on purpose. See, if I did it every night at the same time and it's like, you always send it to me during dinner, that would be one thing. Yeah. But this happens at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I have a very scattered life. I don't know what to tell you. That's what makes it creepy.
I know. Anyhow, this is just, I had to point this out because CNN, what the fuck are you doing? If you want to go out there and say, hey, this might work, that's fine. But why did you need to bring a psychologist into it if there's no research on it? You know what I mean? Why in the hell are you, oh yeah, there's no research here, but we went and got a doctor to tell you there's no research. I'm not wrong on this. I know you're probably chewing whatever food you're eating. I actually know what he's eating tonight, guys. He told me already, but I don't want to seem really creepy. But Jack, I mean, if you're going to pull out the psychologist, shouldn't there be some kind of like research on it?
You'd think so, but this is CNN and they don't really give a shit about the reality of anything.
At this point, you might as well have brought out a relationship coach, right?
Yeah, that probably would have been more productive. Wait till you get to the one story I've got from a neuroscientist. It's going to show you exactly how fucked up these medical industries are.
You know, there was a point I wanted to become a relationship counselor.
Yeah, you could probably do that now. Just call yourself a life coach. There's no training for that shit.
Just call myself a life coach and be like, all right, I'll tell y'all how to live. There's no guarantee, of course. And it's like being a psychologist without having to go through, you know, all that weird shit about Freud and Kinsey and money. Just throwing that out there. All right. It's amazing my doctors are pissed. Oh, what? What'd your doctors do? Did you hear NASCAR driver Noah Gragson got screwed over by his team in NASCAR just because the woke left got mad at him for liking a George Floyd meme? Yeah, the meme was George Floyd's face on Sebastian the Crab, and it said under the knee. Underdone me.
That's fucking funny, dude.
That is fucking funny. And this guy liked it. And yeah, we didn't talk. We're not going to talk deeply about it because I don't know much more than, he got in trouble with NASCAR over it.
Yeah, he got like indefinitely suspended or some nonsense.
Yeah.
Fucking disgusting.
Even if you're, the whole George Floyd is the Messiah thing, that's still funny.
Oh, you're not allowed to have a sense of humor if you're in one of these groups.
That's true. That's true. Who played Ariel? That's funny. It was just a picture of Sebastian. So nobody.
Breonna Taylor. Well, just got us in trouble.
We're gonna pay for this one. You know what? I don't care because that's so funny. All right, let's go ahead and get into, since we were asked about it, let's get into the bombing of Hiroshima. And to a lesser degree, Nagasaki. Today is the anniversary, for those of you who don't know. It was this day in 1945 that we blew the shit out of Hiroshima. We dropped Fat Man on them, Jack. And killed a whole bunch of people. And there's a lot of folks who don't think we should have done it. And you know what? That's fine. That's fine. If you can look at the history, the actual history, and say, I don't think we should have done that. You and I just disagree. We can have an argument. You can have your side. My problem comes in when people have their argument and it's based on bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to get into today with the Libertarian Party, the National Libertarian Party, and their dumb fucking tweet they put out today. Today is the anniversary of the atomic bomb detonation in Hiroshima on August 6, 1945. It's a sad reminder that most of what we have been taught about the atomic bombs and the reasoning behind their usage is the product of lies and the U.S. propaganda machine. I got to that part, Jack, and I was like, ooh, you got my attention. It was the rest of it that I was like, yeah, you can go fuck yourself.
Were you expecting some like consistent evidence that was based in history? Because
I was at least a little bit. According to the standard narrative, Japan refused to surrender in World War II. They did. They absolutely fucking did. Hirohito, the people around him, his inner circle, they were all like, we're not fucking surrendering. It's why he didn't surrender yet, because there is word, Jack, that Hirohito himself was like, maybe we should surrender.
Yeah, that wasn't going to happen, though.
Not with the people. Not with the. I don't know if they were actually generals or what they are in their terms. I forget the name, but the council there, they were like, hell no. But anyway, according to the standard narrative, Japan refused to surrender in World War II, even after long and bloody battles in the Pacific. And an Allied invasion of the Japanese mainland would have caused the deaths of millions plus Allied soldiers, as well as 10 plus million Japanese. That would be the low end. Talking trash and truth. Thank you so much for that gifted sub. This one going out to Lesser Logic. Appreciate it.
Woo.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Slaughtering hundreds of thousands of innocents in 2 cities by this argument saved millions of lives and convinced Japan to surrender. It absolutely did. Now, I'm not getting into more of the history yet, Jack, because I want to dispute what they actually say a little bit further down. In reality, Japan actually had made overtures as early as May 1945 to surrender to the United States in a manner that was virtually unconditional, save for some basic legal protections for Emperor Hirohito. Bullshit.
Yeah,
you
that's
lying
crap.
Son of a bitch.
I would love to see their citation on this one.
Oh, I can tell you what this is.
Oh, their ass?
No. In May of 1945, we intercepted transmissions from the Japanese. We were listening to what they were saying. They were reaching out to Russia to try to get Russia to be an intermediary to negotiate peace. Not to surrender, to negotiate peace. And that's a big difference.
Yeah. And also, how do we know that's not a ploy to delay things longer by using an intermediary?
And this wasn't just basic legal protections for the emperor. They also wanted to keep all of the land that they had taken in the Pacific.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
So
Yeah, basic legal protections.
Yeah, this is just bullshit. This is just a lie. This did not happen. There was no overture. There was a couple of people in their government who were like, let's put some feelers out to the Russians, not to us. The people they were at war with, the people who were kicking their ass up and down the Pacific. Where are we? Furthermore, Japan was in no position to continue the war for long. The U.S. oil embargo had completely starved the country of fuel and basic resources. Stop. Jack, do you remember when the oil embargo happened?
No.
It was in 1941. It's part of what led to the bombing of Pearl Harbor. So for 4 years, they kept going.
Yeah. Also, we had really no way of knowing they were running out of oil. That's hindsight bullshit.
The oil embargo had hurt them, absolutely. But exactly, Brent says the oil embargo hit Japan before Pearl Harbor. It is one of the impetus for the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Hey, Alan.
Sorry.
Hey, Alan, how are you? Thank you so much for the donation. Go ahead, Jack. I'm sorry.
No, I stepped on the dono. Just because there's an embargo doesn't mean they aren't getting any. I mean, North Korea has embargoes on it. They get shit from Iran all the time. Same with the Iranians, and even the Russians are still selling their oil despite their embargo. So just because there's an embargo doesn't mean everybody abides by it.
And it also doesn't point to the fact that they were still going for 4 years after it.
Yeah, they obviously had stockpiles.
Thank you, Ministry of Wrong Thing. The question has always been disingenuously framed as live loss versus possible lives lost, when the actual question should be, was purposefully targeting civilians and melting them alive? This is one of two, so we'll wait for the other one. Thank you again, Ministry of Wrong Thing. To the point where witnesses literally saw people trying to scream with their mouths fused shut with the possibility of collateral damage via traditional means. One is objectively, morally worse, in my opinion. Here's the thing, and I want to get to this because this goes on to talk about how different generals didn't like it and how we've been paying the price since. And their basic premise is that we only bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki as a warning to the Russians. Okay.
No, it ended the war.
It ended the war.
The Russians were our allies at the time. Uneasy ones, but still our allies.
I don't know how much you guys know about Iwo Jima. And I think Iwo Jima is the best example of the Japanese in World War II and what we would have been facing if we attacked the mainland.
Yeah.
When we arrived on Iwo Jima to take it over, there were 21,000 Japanese soldiers. Do you know how many we captured?
None, right?
215.
No, that's higher than expected.
Now, there's some estimates that about 3,000 were hiding in the caves underneath and died under there from wounds they'd already suffered.
Yeah.
And we might have taken a couple of more prisoners of war from that, but very few. Less than 500 Japanese made it off that island. They knew they were getting their ass kicked. They knew that they weren't getting reinforcements, and they did not surrender. And this is something people in the modern West have a really hard time even grasping.
Fanaticism? Yeah.
Yeah, they were fucking fanatic.
Yeah, this was about their god emperor. Real quick, I got a couple things I can grab here. Thank you, Alan. Hello, Jack. How are you? I'm okay, just tired. How are you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Evolved Potato. The upper military personnel of Japan were so against surrendering that after the formal surrender, a lot of them committed ritual suicide.
Yep.
It was an honor to them. They literally died for their honor. They would have fought to the death. Absolutely.
And for the record, Ministry of Wrongthink. If you believe that the bomb was the wrong way to go because you disagree with the targeting of civilians, we'll talk about that in a minute. And how it actually devastated them. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I disagree with you, but at least you're doing it on historical means. But the truth of the matter is, if we did not do that, if we did not get them to surrender without having to put boots on the mainland, millions of them died. Yeah. You had civilians in Japan thinking that U.S. soldiers were coming, killing themselves because they had been told, this is true, you can look this up. The Japanese civilians have been told that the American soldiers were going to come kill them and eat them. The whole society was against surrender, and it would have been fucking horrible. Did your slabs go through? I didn't hear one. Let me see.
To be fair, having gone down on a couple of Asian chicks, they are delicious.
But yeah, that's not the kind that they were talking about. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Dark Resurrect, thank you so much for that feminist $12. If I remember correctly, in the planning for Operation Downfall, it was estimated that Allies would have to go basically destroy the Japanese as a people and a culture. It would have been Vietnam before Vietnam. It would have been worse than that because literally have to kill them all. Okay, hashtag not all. But take the numbers from Iwo Jima, right? Now, in Iwo Jima, Jack, we killed more of them than they killed of us. We took more casualties because casualty is also, getting shot. It's injuries and deaths. But we killed far more of them than they killed of us. You take that number of 21,000 down to the 200. Apply that to their overall citizen. How many are left if you take that ratio and apply it to the Japanese population at the time?
No, not many. Plus, storming an island is a lot different than land combat. Anybody out there ever play Starfleet Battles where you go against the space station? Damn near fucking impossible unless you do it right. Going against an island, the fortifications are so much better for the island. The benefits, because you have to land a ship and then get your men off of it. And we saw that with Normandy, how many guys got cut down. And that's just getting to across the field. You're not even talking about the goal. All the people there, the propaganda was so enshrined that you'd have civilians going after you way worse than Vietnam.
You'd have civilians killing themselves. I mean, this whole notion, and part of the people that they quote in here, I think they quote Ike. I think they quote MacArthur. I know they quote Ike. But anyway, they're like, oh, they were already going to stop. They were going to quit. Do you remember what happened to the Japanese Naval Air Force when they knew they had no recourse anymore?
Kamikazes.
Like, we're out of fucking missiles. Ram your plane into their ships.
It was sadly an effective tactic, just not a good one.
In Okinawa, women were jumping off cliffs with their children because they were afraid of Americans. Yeah. This is what we're talking about. This wasn't modern America where people will give up their fucking freedom so they can keep their goddamn cell phone. These are people this was entrenched. And we would have had to wipe out that fucking island. Ministry of Wrongthink, thank you. I know, I understand. I'm simply arguing the fate they got was literally worse than death. Not everyone went quickly. The ghouls from Fallout series are literally based on them. I get it, but still, I understand. I get what you're coming from. I do.
This was not a decision that was taken lightly, though. Unfortunately, they put a lot of thought into it. I mean, they did think that when they dropped did the first test bomb, it might light the atmosphere on fire. So, bit of a conundrum, as the kids would say.
Now, I have trouble believing that the firebombing of like Tokyo, which killed what, like 80,000 people?
It killed more than both Nagasaki and Hiroshima combined, Eagle just said.
We firebombed. I don't think that's quite right. I'd have to look it up again. But the firebombing of Tokyo, we fucked them up. And I think we did it more than once, if I remember correctly. And you can argue, well, it was the capital, but yeah, it was civilian. And a lot of people, that's one thing that people, but it's civilians. That used to be how you did war. You bomb everybody. So, I mean, I get why people have some issues with it, but if we're being honest, it saved millions of lives. And I'm not even talking about Allied lives. I'm talking about Japanese lives. Japan, as we know it, wouldn't exist. We would have fucking destroyed them. We'd have had to.
Yeah.
But and if you look at the people who were surrounding Hirohito at the time, man, these guys were fucking fanatics. Alfarius Omegon, thank you so much. Nagasaki is debatable. Yes, I'll hold that thought. I understand the people who argue about Nagasaki, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But yeah, I can see debates there. All right, the original target was Kokura's Steelworks, but weather made it a no-go, so they hit Nagasaki. We also tried to destroy them culturally after the war, and scraps covered up huge amounts of SA by soldiers. I'm not familiar with scrap. Sorry, I said scrap. With scap, I'll have to look that one up.
The Japanese have never apologized for the rape of Nanking, by the way, and all the comfort women that they took from the Chinese, where the soldiers just raped women all the time. They've never apologized for that, not formally.
But thank you so much for that donation. Now, there's some argument to be had that the bombing of Nagasaki, we could have waited, because we did it 3 days later. Little boy follows up, and we wait 6 days after that before they formally surrender. So we only wait 3 days between the bombings. But the only reason we waited 3 days is because we only had 2 bombs ready. Should we have bombed Nagasaki? I don't know. But those 2 bombings, they still saved lives. If that's what finally got them to go, yeah, we're done, then it saved lives. Period. And again, not even talking about our side, which it did. I mean, we would have lost millions of soldiers, Jack.
Yeah.
But theirs, they would have, I mean, soldiers, civilians, and not necessarily just from us, but from their ritualistic bullshit. They're the fucking Klingons, man. The 1940s Japanese are Klingons.
Not that they have lumpy heads, guys. That's not.
Some of them do.
That's not true. No, they are.
Some of them do. I've seen them.
No, you haven't. Those are probably North Koreans disguised as Japanese people.
But anybody heard the story of the Japanese man that was nuked twice? Yeah, somebody mentioned in chat a little while ago, and we've talked about it before.
That was the Lord coming after him.
Yeah, no shit. They were sharpening sticks to repel Americans from Japan. I just think so many Americans and not just Americans, people in the West, they don't grasp what we were facing there.
They can't, because they didn't go through it. And we live very comfortable, easy lives now, where a horrific number of dead is like 5.
Yeah.
An IED kills some people in Iraq, and they're all like, oh my God, 5 more dead. Imagine an entire battleship sinking. They have nothing to draw from for that.
Thank you, Corey. There's a good old Japanese animated show about the fallout from the nuclear bombs called Barefoot Gen.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Godzilla.
No, that would be a good one too, though. Yeah, these people who... You can't apply Western ideals to the Japanese, especially in 1945. It's not comparable. This shit... You want to talk about American propaganda? Have you ever looked at Japanese propaganda? They're coming to eat you. Literally. Anyhow, I don't have much more to say on that, Jack. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a misunderstanding of the times. You're playing Monday morning quarterbacking because what we know about their situation now is much different than what the Allies knew at the time. And I think it's a little disingenuous to say, "Oh, well, they were running out of fuel and equipment." We didn't know that.
See, I would go even further. Even if we did know that, I mean, they were running out of equipment, so they were literally flying planes into ships because they didn't have bombs.
Yeah, and what's more dangerous when people are, on the cusp of, they were desperate, and desperate people do desperate things. Running the planes into the boats, that showed the dedication and loyalty they had to their emperor and the fanaticism of the Japanese people. It was total brainwashing. The whole country was brainwashed. They were fairly isolated as a culture anyway. You can't underestimate that. And the war crimes they were committing, especially Unit 731, Jesus Christ, they were willing to do pretty much anything they wanted.
Afarius Omega, and I think this is directed at what you said, Jack, says, yeah, they have several times. Emperor Akihito, Hirohito's son, apologized personally to Korean Pres Rote Wu in a meeting in 1990.
The rape of Nanking was in China, not Korea. Unit 731 tortured a bunch of people, cutting arms off and attaching them to other places on their body to see if it would work. They have not formally apologized for a lot of those crimes. Some of them they did apologize for, but others are face saving and they're not going to apologize for it because they'd have to admit responsibility. So I'm going to have to disagree with you. I've never seen anywhere where they formally apologized for a lot of the atrocities they did in China because they hate the Chinese, dirty Chinese. The Chinese hate the Japanese, and both have good reasons for hating each other going back 1,000 years.
Oh, okay.
Some of the comfort women came from Korea. Okay, I'll concede that then. I got a couple of things backed up here. I got to.
Oh, please.
Thank you, Evolved Potato. To be fair, Mao officially forgave and even thanked the Japanese for everything they did in the war. So Japan should apologize to Taiwan. By China, they were left off the hook. Well, that's because Mao couldn't have come to power if the Japanese hadn't done those atrocities. Thank you, RJ. Hiroshima is where they currently make the Mazda Miata. No joke. I guess it's the home of affordable Japanese sports car. Nice. My wife said she was fed up with addiction and demanded I quit cold turkey. But man, I fucking love cold turkey. I couldn't quit cold cuts. No, that's not possible. And thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. On Nagasaki, I think it was necessary in the grand scheme of things. Things I've read said that after Hiroshima, they believed that was the only nuke we had. Nagasaki had to show them we had more. They didn't know it was just 2. I've heard that too. I don't know if that's accurate.
To that point, there were also some who thought that after seeing, all the destruction, that the U.S. would be like, yeah, we're not going to do that again. That it would have broken our resolve. So yeah, there's arguments for why we bombed Nagasaki, but in my mind, there's no argument against Hiroshima. Ministry of Wrong Thing, thank you again. To be fair, America still hasn't apologized for She-Hulk. You could say that was worse.
Yeah, when you told me you saw Green Badge, that's who I thought you were talking about.
No, not that one. Anyhow.
Oh, I got another one here. Thank you, Snowflame. Had a buddy who was in the Navy. When they docked, they made him send a Nola Gay shirt back. It said "Made in America, tested in Japan." Wow.
Yeah, that'll do it. That will do it.
Yeah, you really don't want to piss off the locals when you're going in there. Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah, wear that shirt when you go to China.
Yeah, they'll find that funnier.
They'll like it. Just, you guys got it, and hashtag not you, but the world at large, the Western world, needs to stop thinking everybody thinks like us.
We need to stop apologizing for everything that happened before any of us were born, too.
Yeah, that's not a wrong answer either. Simple truth is, it did save lives. To answer the question in the title, yes, it saved lives, millions of lives, and probably Japan as a whole. Without it, we own Japan, Jack. We run in there and there's barely any Japanese left, so it's just America's island at that point. So the unconditional surrender is what was required. This bullshit of they had already done basically an unconditional surrender. That's just not fucking true.
Yeah.
Anybody who tells you that is lying. They made overtures. Fuck you. No, they did not. They were talking. They were reaching out to the Russians. They didn't even have a big dialogue going on with the Russians. They just reached out to them like, hey, what do you think? So they go fuck yourselves with your lies about it. You want to disagree with it, fine, but at least do it based on historical fact and not your bullshit made up nonsense that even Rome Girl would fucking laugh at.
Yeah, look, a lot of this stuff has been litigated. Even the Japanese are over it because they weren't alive when it happened. They're like, well, that was war. They have a much different perspective on this stuff. Plus, they're as historically ignorant as we are. But I don't know why you have to go back and relitigate these things that have been over and over and over again.
Well,
it happened. The nukes are still around. Nobody's getting rid of them, sadly. And the decision was made. You can't undo it. And I do think it would have cost more lives to attack an island full of fanatics than it would have if with the nukes. But, everybody's entitled to their opinion on it, I guess.
As long as it's based on historical fact. That's my only thing, Jack. Base it on actual fact.
Well, good luck with that ever happening.
Go out there and watch documentaries if you can't be bothered to read about the Pacific Theater. The Pacific Theater was fucking brutal.
Oh, yeah. It was pretty nasty.
And go see what happened there. It was not what your modern war would be, because fanatics, man. I couldn't be like that, Jack. There's only 300 of you left, and there's the entire American force, and you're like, fuck it, I'm still fighting, knowing that there's nobody coming to save you. But at least 85 Japanese soldiers did that.
And now Japan is a close trading partner, a great ally. And we've got Godzilla, anime. You got your Pokemons and whatever other goofy shit people love from over there. And they have beautiful, sexy women, probably all born from radiation. And they probably all have superpowers. I don't know.
We wouldn't have Mario without nukes. True. All right. Let's move along, shall we? Donald Trump's in the news, Jack. And I purposefully grabbed the Politico article on this. Everybody was talking about this. I saw literally every major news outlet. And I was like, let's get one that hates Donald Trump, because that'll be funnier. Donald Trump says he will seek a recusal venue change in January 6th case.
As you should.
Did you see the post from over there on, I want to say Cozy, but that's not right, Truth Social?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Trump's argument has been repeatedly rejected by federal judges in D.C. who have handled other politically sensitive cases stemming from January 6th attack on the Capitol. Donald Trump will ask for the federal judge overseeing the case involving his attempt to subvert the 2020 presidential election. Could they stop saying that? That's not what the case is. This is Donald Trump will ask for the federal judge overseeing his case involving his free speech that is now being thwarted by Jack Smith to recuse herself. As he wrote in post on social media Sunday, this is the post. There's no way I can get a fair trial with the judge assigned, and he did put that in quotes, with the judge assigned to the ridiculous freedom of speech / fair election case. Everybody knows this, and so does she, he wrote in all caps on Truth Social. He'll be immediately asking for a recusal of this judge on very powerful grounds, and likewise for a venue change out of D.C. Look, I know how our system is supposed to work. I know it doesn't work that way very often. And in theory, you would have a judge who, even though they quite clearly have something against the January 6th folks, would still be able to fairly oversee the case. You, in theory, should be able to get 12 people to put aside their political prejudice and, just vote guilty or not guilty based on the facts. But in reality, that's not going to happen. We've already seen this judge in different moments be very unfair to the January 6th folks. And we know that juries in DC are so left wing, so very left wing. If you want to make this honest, you have to move this, and you do need a new judge. The judge should step down. I am curious to see what I like how he put that, very powerful evidence. I can't wait to see that.
Most powerful ever.
It's huge. You're not going to believe it.
I fucking love Trump's postings, man. They're hilarious.
I love how hyperbolic he is.
Yeah, dude's he should have been a comedian.
He should have. We all know they will jury rig it too. Easy compared to rigging the election. Yeah, I mean, they don't even have to jury rig it. All they got to do is pick the people who show up for jury duty.
Yeah, anybody in DC, yeah, it's going to be all Democrats. People are probably chomping at the bit to get on this jury.
Yeah. Like that chick we saw who was in the grand jury down there in Georgia. I just wanted to talk to Trump and make him swear under oath. Creepy bitch. I don't know if Trump can get a fair trial anywhere.
With all the press around this and all the stuff they've done on January 6th, because, they're going to weasel that shit in.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't think he can get a fair trial. This whole thing is ludicrous First Amendment violations anyway, but they're going to ram it through and they're going to get away with it. If we're lucky, the Supreme Court will get involved, but I highly doubt that. They're going to do everything they can to get him thrown in jail.
I think the Supreme Court could get involved in this, especially because of the laws that this fucking retard is trying to use.
Yeah, I don't think Roberts has the balls to take this up.
These cases have been before the court before, and if an appellate court doesn't overturn this, the Supreme Court definitely should, based on their own precedent.
Yeah, but is Trump going to end up in jail before that happens?
Oh, God, yeah. Well, I don't know if he'd end up in jail. He'd probably be out pending appeal because this isn't a violent crime.
Oh, it was violent, Monkey. January 6th,
but
he caused it.
They did not put that as any of the charges.
Oh, do you think that matters to these fucking ass clowns?
It does when it comes to releasing him on bail.
I don't think this judge has that capacity. Look at all the January 6th stuff she's done.
Thank you, Frank, who said should be held in rural county in Iowa. Well, I argued with someone on Twitter on this, who said, do you think he'd get a fair trial in Alabama? I don't know why they went to Alabama, but probably not. If he had an all pro Trump jury, I don't think he would get a fair trial anyway, because the fair trial is not, he's going to be found innocent or he's going to be found guilty. And Trump supporters, sorry guys, some of y'all are fanatical. Some of y'all are just absolutely fucking fanatical, and Trump is right about I'd be able to shoot somebody in the street and get away with it with some of you. And that's not a fair trial either. Fair trial is listening to the facts of the case and deciding on that. And that's why I say I don't think he can get a fair trial anywhere, Jack.
Yeah, I agree.
The odds of getting people who are, all right, I just want to listen to the facts. I don't love the guy. I don't hate the guy. The odds of getting 12 of those people anywhere? That's pretty low, man.
Yeah.
Now, look, I think it's a bullshit thing. I could not serve on this jury because my mind is already made up. I'm not fanatical for Trump, but I've seen the fucking indictments, and I've read the case that they, especially that first fucking charge. Jesus Christ. So I couldn't be an impartial juror, Jack. But I would like to see, this is what I want to see, honest to God. I want to see an 11-1 jury where just guys holding out going, no. Nope. Fuck you. Ministry of Wrong Thing, thank you. They'll come up with some bullshit deal where he'll be allowed to avoid jail as long as he refuses to ever run for POTUS. Watch. I don't know if they would do that. I hear what you're saying. I don't know if they would do that because the reaction to that would be worse than him being found guilty. Because at that point, there is literally no way to claim that they're not just doing it for political reasons. Right now, they can still be like, even if he's found guilty, like, hey, a jury of his peers. They do that all the time with political cases.
Yeah.
But if they did that shit, even if they tried to do that and Trump's team leaked it, look, I've not been on the train of there's going to be rioting in the streets, but that would cause rioting in the streets.
Well, it really wouldn't surprise me if they did that, just because they are so blatantly partisan about this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they want MAGA supporters to rebel because they think these people are death cultists. They have painted Trump supporters as religious fanatics to the extent that like Al Qaeda and ISIS are. They think they're the most dangerous people on the planet. And never mind that Antifa burns cities down. But oh my God, like one Trump supporter got shot in the face while breaching a door is the worst thing in the history of the universe.
Mm-hmm. I saw a thing the other day. The guy who stole the podium got sentenced. I forget what he got sentenced to.
He got 4 years, didn't he?
Yeah, but he didn't even steal the damn thing. He just moved it.
Yeah, it was like capture the flag.
Yeah, it was still in the building. He never took it outside of the Capitol. So it's wrong to even say he stole it. He moved it.
Yeah, it's not stealing when you just shift its location in the same building.
Now, there was somebody who stole Nancy Pelosi's laptop. That chick actually stole it, took it with her.
Yeah, that's different. The guy just moved it.
Yeah, he moved
stupid.
It. Anyhow,
but to get him on bad feng shui, is that a crime?
I guess, apparently. Now we have somebody I love talking about, Jack. That's not true. We rarely talk about him because he's literally unimportant. Christie, and I'm leaving this up for a second so you can get a look at his nice pear-shaped body. He's healthy.
Yeah, he's had what, 3 gastric bypasses?
That.
All right. Is this the right video? This might not be the right video. This is not the right video. Son of a bitch, Jack. Oh, that's me being bad. I saved the page, Jack.
Oh, good job.
I did
the
right.
It wasn't like in the same thread.
It's not in the same thread, no.
Oh,
because that was me looking up something different. That was me. What was I looking up about? I was looking up something about Chris, and I forget why. Oh, I remember what I was looking up. What his Twitter handle was. That's what that was about. All right, here's the video I want to share. Now, it is a little low. The volume is up as high as it can go. But this is him talking about Donald Trump on January 6th.
Asked them then to march up to Capitol Hill to stop what was going on up there. Said he would march.
That is not what Donald Trump asked him to do. Donald Trump did not ask his supporters to go stop what was going on at the Capitol.
Get up there and sit on him, Chris.
He asked them to go protest what was happening, but he didn't say, hey, get in there and stop this from happening. He suggested that by protesting outside, it would stop it. but he never said, go stop this, you fucking lying piece of shit. Anyway, that's not his point, Jack.
With them. But as I've told you, Dana, I knew that if Donald Trump had a risk of breaking a fingernail, he's such a coward that he wouldn't go up to Capitol Hill. So he went back to the safety of the White House. And
Jack, do you remember when we were told that Donald Trump basically assaulted his driver because he was that desperate to get to go with the folks at the Capitol Hill?
Yeah, we saw that footage. I think it was from the raid too, where they superposed his face. Yeah, they were trying to make it like he was pulling some ninja shit, trying to get back to the Capitol to lead the charge. No, that's such bullshit. He finished his speech and then he went on his way.
So I need the news to decide for me, was Donald Trump that desperate to go fight the good cause and lead the charge, or was he a pussy like this guy says?
Yes, whichever one is more important at the moment.
By the way, I've started calling him cream-filled Christie. I just think it's funny.
Crispy Christie.
and sent those folks up there to do what they did, which was to create many of them a violent conduct up on Capitol Hill to try to stop what was going on in terms of confirming the election.
I don't like liars, Jack. And what he did there was a lie.
Yeah. Have you noticed how much he sounds like he has a mouthful of like something? Like he's eating a donut and he's
does.
Yeah, it's creepy because he didn't used to sound like that. Now he sounds like gross.
He realized that hamsters shove stuff in their cheeks for later, and he started doing it.
Yeah, so he's got like a couple of ham sandwiches burrowed in there.
Yes.
Ew.
I don't have much more to say about that other than fuck you, you lying piece of shit. Guys, by all means, rip each other to shreds, but do it over real shit. Stop fucking lying. Why is everybody lying?
Well, to be fair, he is a politician. That's their natural state.
How is it that back when we didn't see politicians as much, when we didn't have as much access to them, they lied less?
They didn't have to lie as much. The media helped them.
Well, not everybody. I mean, they certainly never helped the Republicans.
Well, I mean, those are the devil.
We have more access. We can see this shit in real time. And these fuckers are like, let's lie about that.
Well, they do it because they know that most people are lazy and not going to look it up. And they also don't care. They don't care if their lies are caught and exposed. They'll just deny it because obfuscation works pretty well. It wasn't me.
Lieber Wolf says 24-hour news monkey. You can get on the news without lying. You can go and talk shit about Trump and they will put a microphone in your face. You don't even have to lie about it. Anyhow, Jack, this next story is, I don't even know how to describe it. I don't. So I don't know if you saw this, but here we go. Man who identifies as a Muslim woman files legal claim to retrieve his testicles from ex-boyfriend's fridge.
Sounds like a modern article. Very progressive.
I want to read that again because I find it hilarious. Man who identifies as a Muslim woman files legal claim to retrieve his testicles from his ex-boyfriend's fridge.
You think one of his friends spent the night and was like, dude, I got hungry in the middle of the night and all you had was these meatballs. They weren't very good, man.
A Michigan man who identifies as both transgender and Muslim has filed a legal claim against his ex-boyfriend, demanding the return of his amputated testicles, which he says are being kept in a jar in the refrigerator.
Like you do.
Like you do. Brianna Kingsley, 40, filed the claim against William Wojciechowski, 37, in Pontiac's 50th District Court on Thursday. In a handwritten affidavit, Kingsley wrote, defendant retains possession of my surgically extracted testicles, preserved in a mason jar, kept in the fridge next to the eggs. Demand immediate return of these human species human remains specimens and damages of $6,500. Yeah, so that happened.
Normally, they don't give you your parts back if they cut stuff off. So, was this a home job?
I don't know. I don't know.
Or is there just like some pickled eggs that identify as his testicles?
I don't know.
I'm now picturing this man dressed like a Muslim woman, full burqa, digging through a dumpster of medical waste at the local hospital, grabbing the first set of testicles he finds and putting them in a mason jar.
Did they bring the mason jar with them? Because I would feel like that's not how, even if they did give them to him, that's not how they'd be packaged.
I would think not, but you never know. I mean, maybe this is like,
Well,
Alabama.
there was a picture. I mean, here, let me put that back on the screen. They have a picture where they're holding a bio waste bag. You see the bio waste sign right there. So I'm wondering if that's their testicles.
Maybe. That looks like Eddie Izzard.
It kind of does. Well, no, that looks like Eddie Izzard used to look. Have you seen him lately?
Yeah, very creepy.
Now he looks like he should be in Mr. Rogers' freaky land. Imagination.
Oh my god, Dark said this is a new thing. They let you keep your mutilated genitals. That's fucked up, man.
Why?
Black Romeo said, so this Muslim trans woman married to a Jew. Holy progressives, Batman.
Right? Why would you, let me ask you this. You got dysphoria, right? Why would you want a reminder that you are male every time you open the fridge?
In case you change your mind, they're right there.
I feel like you can't.
I feel like you can't too, but I don't know. We see a lot of really creepy, weird stuff from some of these people. Let's be honest. Some of these pseudo trenders, because like really dysphoric people would be glad to get rid of that.
Yeah,
but
you wouldn't want that reminder.
No, but you got to have that little cause celeb when people come over. You have something to talk about, which is me. Oh my god, you want to see my balls?
GDSOB says you can file paperwork to get cut off body parts, etc., returned to you. All right.
I've never heard of that, but it must be a newer thing. I don't know. I don't like that. Maybe there's like a religious exemption.
Maybe. I just don't understand why, if you're dysphoric, you'd want to keep a reminder that you're actually, not a woman.
Because this person is probably not dysphoric.
They are genuinely, well, I mean, they did commit, let's be honest. I mean,
yeah,
a lot of these trenders that we see, they might take hormone replacement, but this one's like, nah, cut off my balls.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you're a real narcissist, look at me. Look how strong and empowered and brave I am. Let's talk about me some more.
Speaking of empowered and brave, we haven't talked about the fact that the Canadian president's getting divorced. And we finally know why.
Because his beard shaved?
Because he's gay as shit. We're Team Barbie. I saw today, Barbie crosses the $1 billion threshold. When did we start doing that based on worldwide sales?
When it became progressive movies.
We used to only do that based on domestic box office.
Yes, but that was then, and this is now, because they want to do more of these movies because they're stunning and brave, and they don't want any more of your like weird adventure movies like Avengers. Ew.
But he showed up in pink with, is that his son?
I think that's his son.
So he raised a twink?
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
I have comments that would definitely get us in trouble, so I'm just gonna leave the implication there's something more going on there on the table. You guys can figure out the jokes on their own.
Mr. E, I agree with you, but I can't read that on stream.
Mr. E's been killing it in chat, by the way.
Yeah, look, our president is quite embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie, but Canada, what the fuck is going on with you guys? Yeah, Trudeau got his beard shaved, and for those of you who don't understand that kind of reference, I don't know what to tell you.
Did she allege like some infidelity or something?
That's what I've heard, but I can't say for sure.
Do you think that he was in blackface plowing a Cuban and being like, take that,
You
I'm
think, wait,
Fidel?
time out.
Hmm?
You think he's the top?
No, but he might be a power bottom.
I say, ain't no way. He might be the power bottom. There's no way he's the top. That dude is getting drilled like the Gulf of Mexico, man. Just throwing that out there. All right. This next picture, Jack, is just a reminder of what's going on at your local bookstores, the few that are left. I don't look. If they want to put this stuff up, that's fine. I don't know why you would take your kids in here. This is literally, what are you talking about, a gay agenda? This is gay books for children. Let's see, My Two Dads and Me. And I just want to object to that one because they kind of made, I don't know if you can see it very well on the screen, but they kind of made the two dudes look like the guys from My Two Dads who were not gay.
Yeah. And a great show, by the way. Stacey Keegan was my girl back then.
Oh, I had a crush on her. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's such her and Aaron Gray. Oh.
I also wanted to look like the guy with the beard because he played BJ and the Bear and used to get to hang out with a monkey and drive a big rig.
Yeah.
And so that always was just cool looking to me. So I wanted a nice beard to make, and he always got all the ladies. And I want all the ladies. So, Dark Resurrect, thanks so much for that, feminist, $12. So the thing with keeping lopped off bits is a new thing where people are saving them as spoils of war. That's in quotes. Stating that they conquered their assigned gender and are now their true selves. That's retarded. That's just retarded. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Wow.
This one book here says bye bye binary, and it's got that's clearly for like infants that you read to them.
Let the brainwashing begin early.
That's what this is. I mean, it's brainwashing. It's putting this shit into kids' heads when they're, young and impressionable. We're not doing anything like, there's no agenda. What are you talking about? Oh, sorry. That came off a little bit homophobic. There ain't no agenda. What are you talking about?
What you talking about, Willis?
We reading these gay books to your kids just for research purposes. DeSantis came out today and said it was wrong to deinstitutionalize mental health. He's not wrong. Hate him if you want, but he got that one right. Not much more to say about that one, Jack, but bring back asylums. I'm just saying. More than 440 reporters have lost their press passes to the White House. Did you see that story?
Yep. Well, we'll just change the rules so you can't ask us any of those uncomfortable questions.
Yeah, let me get down to where they have. There we go. I want to get to the rules because they're stupid. The White House press office announced their updated standards in an email sent to all White House hard pass holders in May with guidelines for journalists to successfully renew their hard pass. A hard pass just means that you can walk in, show your pass, and they, okay, come on in. Otherwise, you have to fill out a little form every day, and they'll give you a daily pass. Hard pass is good for a year. Reporters must show that they have, quote, full-time employment with an organization whose principal business is news dissemination. I feel like CNN can't get a hard pass now.
Yeah. Also, you almost said employment, which I don't know what that is.
They must have a physical address in the Washington, D.C. area. And I don't know what that means because it doesn't say in Washington, D.C. So I'm wondering if you're in Arlington, Virginia, if that's close enough. is Richmond too far away? Lots of folks, work in Richmond or live in Richmond and go up and work in DC.
Yeah.
Is the computer shop owner there in Delaware? Is that too far away? And demonstrate they have accessed the White House campus at least once during the prior 6 months for work, or have proof of employment within the last 3 months to cover the White House. Additionally, hard pass seekers need to show that they have an assignment to cover or provide technical support in covering the White House on a regular basis, and have accreditation by a press gallery in either the U.S. Senate, U.S. House of Representatives, or the Supreme Court. Lastly, applicants must be willing to submit to any necessary investigation by the U.S. Secret Service to determine eligibility for access to the White House complex.
Real quick. Thank you, Vault Potato. At most, I'd understand wanting to keep your bones if you get something amputated. Anything fleshy is a big no-no. Like if I lost a leg, I'd want to have the bone integrated into my prosthetic, maybe have it engraved like Scrimshaw. It'd look cool. Well, some people want to be buried with all their bits and pieces too. So
Yeah.
I understand wanting the bones back, but having your balls in a jar in your refrigerator is kind of weird to me.
Kinda.
I've heard way weirder shit in the past 6 months. Let's be honest.
Gutenberg, how you doing, my friend? I hope you are well.
Hey, Gutenberg.
So they say nobody's been turned down for a press pass yet, but 440 people have lost their press passes, and it's assumed it's because they don't meet these stupid ass requirements. I don't know what else to say about it other than if this was under Trump, they'd be going, oh my God, they're trying to keep people from reporting on him. Can you imagine if 440, they lost their shit because one reporter got his press pass taken away?
Yeah. But he had the correct politics.
He did. Well, and he's a retard, which really helps sell their politics.
Yeah. Well, it's mean against the disabled.
All right, Jack, we got to talk about this one for a minute. Should we watch the video? Yeah, we should watch the video. Depends on how choppy the video's coming through. We will try it, see, but here we go. Have you seen this video?
Hold on, I'm on a different screen. No.
I got the pineapple. What'd you get?
The watermelon. It's really good.
Nice. Must be nice.
Want to try it?
Oh, I'm good.
Can I try yours?
Oh, I knew that was coming. See, and that's why I said that.
Jack, you ever have to deal with that shit?
Yeah, every woman I've ever dated. Oh, I don't really want anything. Can I have some of your? Oh, can I try that? And then they eat half of it.
Well, the reason we watched that video is for the argument that popped up around it. This chick, because of course it was a chick, says if a man I should bring this up on the screen. People like when stuff's on the screen, Jack.
Well, they do because they don't want to look at my shitty drawing and
it's sparkly.
Your Asian man wearing a hat.
It says if a man reacts like this when you ask to try a bite of his food, imagine how he's going to react when you actually need something. Selfish man-child fat ass. Faithless says, was that not staged as fuck? Even staged as fuck, that kind of shit really happens. She goes on to say, a woman asking you to try a nibble of your food should be endearing. It's how we show we trust you and like you. If you having one bite less of food is an unthinkable inconvenience for you, you're not mature enough to be in a relationship.
Fuck off.
Like I said, obviously written by a woman. It's not that one bite less of my food is going to ruin my whole dining experience, Jack. It's that if we go out to eat, right? Me and my wife go out to eat. Like, baby, get whatever you want. Get whatever you want. And I'm not as big of a stickler for this. My wife wants to try a bite. Yeah, go ahead. I don't care. But I understand the people who are like, bitch, I told you to get whatever you want and you ain't getting nothing. And then you want some of my food. Get what you want. And instead like, but Jack, it's just them showing they trust you. How?
Yeah, I'm already buying you dinner. Don't take mine. Just order whatever the fuck you getting, okay? If you want to try what I'm eating, order it, you fucking psychopath.
Lady Monkey doesn't often ask for bites of my food. I can't remember many times ever. But I get food that she doesn't like. If there's tomatoes that can be put on something, I have tomatoes on it and she doesn't like tomatoes. She's constantly offering me bites of her food. I'm like, baby, I'm all right. If I wanted that, I'd get it. No Monkey, one less bite will ruin my meal and probably night. I understand.
Yeah, it depends on what I'm eating, but normally I don't like to share my food. Mostly because your gross ass fork is coming onto my plate. I don't know where your filthy mouth has been. Fucking whore. I mean, stick it in her bonus hole.
GDSOB says she only offered first to ask for this. Yeah, and if you watch the video, I don't know how choppy it was here. When she asked, he stares off because he knows what's coming. Now, was this staged? Possibly.
Yeah, but every guy that's been on a date knows what this is like.
Yep.
I've seen gay dudes do this too. It's not just a strictly woman thing. It's the woman role thing.
Yeah. Get what you want to eat and leave his fucking food alone.
Yeah, or eat family style where everybody takes off put all the plates in the middle and everybody takes a little bit of everything. You know, like the Chinese do, which can work great unless you specifically wanted that one thing. Fuck everybody else. That's mine.
Dark Resurrect says, my wife and I only share bites when we both get something new. Yeah, I mean, we've done that too. Like, I was going to get that, but I got this instead. You want to try a bite? But this shit happens way too often. Ladies, get your own damn food.
Real quick, thank you, Dixie Rose, for that feminist donation. I wonder if that's why Southerners call it a ball mason jar.
Wow.
I got that joke.
I don't think I want to watch that one. Oh God. Do I want to talk about this story on just briefly?
Go for it.
This is a horrible fucking story, Jack. So, where's the headline? Unintended hero. A mother's quest to find her daughter led to the eventual arrest of the suspect in the Gilgo? I don't know how to say that. Beach serial killings.
Oh, Gilgo. That's Gilgo.
Gilgo. Okay. So this mom, her daughter disappears. Her mom was a hooker. Her daughter was a hooker, and that's a dangerous profession. And she goes missing, and her mom keeps pushing and pushing and pushing to get her daughter found. Her daughter's found, I believe it's in 2011. Not alive. And so her mom keeps pushing and pushing and pushing to try to find the suspect. And because of her pushing, they actually find this guy who had murdered. They're pretty sure he murdered 3. They think he murdered at least a 4th. And there's like 12 bodies that have been found in the area that they're not sure if he was involved in or not.
Yeah, the 4 that are being linked to him, 3 confirmed, 1 possible, all had the same like ritualistic thing as a burlap sack. So they're linking those to him. At least the 3 is what he's charged with now. They're talking about the 4th. But there's like a bunch of other bodies that they uncovered because apparently this is a great dumping ground.
Not about the dumping ground, but Travis, thank you so much. He says, my wife did this every fucking time we went out, or she would want to order to share. And this was after 10 tense minutes trying to figure out what we wanted to eat. Thanks, Monk. I am triggered. Sorry. All right. Now, unfortunately, this mother did not live to see this guy captured, to see at least some of the product of her work, because her other daughter stabbed her 227 times.
Yeah.
And then bludgeoned her with actually, we don't know if she bludgeoned her before or after, but bludgeoned her with a fire extinguisher and set it off in her mouth.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. The other daughter, her lawyer tried claiming that she had voices in her head because of her sister's disappearance. And the prosecution was like, no, you did this because your mom filed to get custody of your son because you were a horrible mother. I don't know what the truth is there. It's just a really fucked up story. But on the plus side, at least they caught the serial killer.
Yeah, that's. I don't even know what to say to that. That's so fucked up.
Yeah. I got to that part. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, so that's why she didn't get to live to see it, unfortunately. Good on her for keep pushing, because look, sometimes, especially when let's be honest, a hooker goes missing and the police are not really going to go searching real hard for her.
Yeah, they typically don't try very hard because they're non-people, like the homeless and chiropractors.
Fuck you. I just caught that. Babylon B. Let me read this real quick. Babylon B, going back to Trudeau real fast. Trudeau's divorce leaves nation in shock that he was married to a woman.
Right?
Fair enough. Go ahead. I'm sorry, bud.
Thank you, Travis Gardner. Have you thought of doing true crime? Yeah, and I don't have the time to do it because there's a lot of videos I want to make, some of which would be kind of true crime oriented, but I just don't have the time right now. Maybe somewhere down the line. I can't even get a video finished for my comic book channel because I just don't have the time, which I am making progress on. So hopefully soon. But yeah, I can't even get videos processed that are going to be shorts for the regular channel with the trail cams, and those are super easy. I just don't have the time to sit down and sit at the computer and do it, and I can't do it while we're on stream because it fucks up with my microphone.
Faith has said most bodies only get found by accident. Yeah, and that's what happened with the, what is it? Gigolo Beach? Gilgo?
Gigolo.
What is it?
Gilgo.
It's Gilgo
right
Beach. They found one and they started looking, and yeah, this is apparently a very popular dumping ground for prostitutes, basically. So I hope that guy goes to prison for a long time. He's one that they caught by attaching his DNA. They got like a chicken sandwich or something he hadn't finished eating out of the trash and got the DNA off it and checked it against DNA that were left on the women. He's going to prison.
Yeah. He was also too stupid to separate his cell phones. He kept his burner phone on and his regular cell phone on at the same time. Because he was calling hookers on his burner phone.
Yeah.
That's just not smart.
Hey, Nuts, how are you, sweetie?
Hi, Stargazer.
So, yeah, that guy's going to prison, and I'm glad that at least those families are getting some comfort because of the efforts of this woman.
Yeah. It's unfortunate she went out that way.
Yeah, it's really as you read that story, they call it a Hamlet-like family. And like, I guess that's tragic, I suppose.
Yeah, that's very Shakespearean tragedy kind of thing.
Very, very. Wow. All right. No, that's not what I wanted to click on. No, my hand. Give me a second. Will you talk to the folks?
Sure. What's up, folks? Do you keep your burner phone for hookers separate in a different location? No, because I don't have any money. I can't afford a hooker. I had to take that sign down that said Rockefeller over my door. But if I were doing something criminal, hypothetically, my lawyer insists, I would keep separate phones in separate locations and in Faraday bags.
Sorry about that, dude. Just sometimes my hand decides it doesn't want to work.
I understand.
Fury as Porsche airbrushes out statue of Jesus in new 911 promo advert. Images of the famous Cristo Rey landmark in Lisbon is erased from the background of clip that celebrates 60 years of the iconic car. Why would they do that?
I don't know. Because they hate Jesus.
Porsche has come under fire today over claims it airbrushed out the famous Cristo Rey, I'm not sure I'm saying that right, landmark in Lisbon in a video celebrating 60 years of the iconic 911 sports car. Controversial ad, which features luxury Porsche cars cruising along the mountains in Portugal, has been deleted from the manufacturer's YouTube channel, but remains on their website. Hey, dude, if you're going to delete that shit, you got to delete all of it.
Yeah.
In the promotional clip, a woman's red Porsche speeds past Lisbon's 25-day Abril Bridge, from which you can usually see the iconic Cristo Rey, Christ the King, statue overlooking the Capitol. How did you think people would not notice that was missing?
Yeah, it looks weird. I mean, because it's just the pedestal. Like, why didn't you airbrush the whole thing out?
Why not film somewhere else?
Because it's a
Film
really
it.
scenic, exotic location.
Yeah, but okay. You can see it on the screen right now, right? All right.
Yeah.
So this is where they airbrush it out. There's the bridge. You don't want the scenic part of it with the statue. So film it from the other side of the fucking bridge. So that instead of the bridge going from left to right, it's going from right to left as you're driving the other way.
Nope. Sounds like a lot of extra steps. Maybe they could only get permission for one side of it.
I guess. But the famous landmark, which was inspired by the Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, has been edited out with Porsche opting instead to just show the 75-foot concrete plinth. That makes sense. Maybe they were filming a disaster movie.
Nope.
And global warming got it.
Yeah, global warming got it. Because that's the new religion of the era. No, they just don't like Jesus. Let's be honest. This is they didn't want to get a bunch of hate mail from wokies who are a bunch of anti-theists because they're all had to go to church on Sunday like they're the amazing atheists or something. Nope, they just don't like Jesus.
It comes after another controversy surrounding organizations airbrushing religion, including universities coming under fire for dropping Christian term. That says term names. All right. Christian term names and telling students not to say Christian name or surname because the terms are offensive. Fuck you. Oh, fuck off. Look, stop going wokey woke. I don't think this is going to hurt Porsche too much. It's an expensive brand, and the kind of people who buy that shit are doing it for status anyway. They don't give a shit about the Jesus statue. But it's still stupid and it looks bad. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the universities, they can all go fuck themselves. Because of that, I just want to say Christian name more often. The only time I've ever heard that term used is actually in Young Guns 2. The one character's wanting a nickname, and he says to Billy, I dare say Doc's Christian name isn't Doc. It's literally the only time I've ever heard it outside of this. And people whining about it, but
it's a term that was used a lot more in previous generations. Like our parents, grandparents, especially grandparents era, more turn of the century, last century kind of thing. So I don't know. I think most people say surname.
Yeah, but they said you can't say that either.
No, because it evokes the wrong kind of thinking, and you might accidentally dead name somebody, right?
Yeah, surname is a term I've heard many, many times. I'm just going to start saying Christian name because now I am protesting. I'm a protester, Jack.
You rogue, you.
Speaking of protests, did you see Hassan Piker's dumbass take about what happened there in New York?
Yes. Oh my god, I posted about it on Twitter. What a fucking elitist shitbag. Oh, I'm gonna shit all over some local guy who lost everything because they showed a bag of Doritos. Fuck you, you asshole.
The news was interviewing this one guy who has a food cart that got destroyed in that riot, basically, where that one YouTuber, no, he's Twitch user, who said, I'm going to give out PS5s, and he caused a riot in Union Park in New York City. And so the news is interviewing him, and Hassan brushes it off as losing $3 worth of Doritos because he's a douchebag.
They trashed this guy's thing. They trashed a bunch of local stores and looted them. And he's like, oh, over some Doritos. It's this guy's livelihood, you elitist.
And he says,
fucking millionaire sitting in his mansion mocking some guy whose entire livelihood just got destroyed, that he probably spent 20 years building, by the way.
Yeah, because the guy even explains that they destroyed all the shelves and stuff in his cart. Thank you, Assassin says Union Square Park. Thank you. And he says, I hate the local media because they blow this stuff up. It's outrage porn. That's all it is. Well, you should be outraged about what we saw there.
Yeah, but he doesn't care because he lives in a really nice area.
Now, I think somebody should, say they're giving away a PS5 at Hassan's house. Just going to throw that out there.
He's probably got.
He doesn't mind. He doesn't mind. Thank you, S Cybertaz. Not surname anymore. It's ma'am name. It's ma'am name now. Bigots. Fair enough.
Nice.
It's ma'am. Oh, what's JK doing now? Cold, heartless JK Rowling removed from Museum of Pop Culture Harry Potter exhibit. How you remove JK from Harry Potter?
With whiteout, I assume, or maybe
she
a big
wrote
eraser.
The fucking thing.
We're just not going to mention her. Who wrote this book? It's pretty good. Shut up, bigot.
Without J.K. Rowling, there would be no Harry Potter. True. No books, no movies, no spin-offs, no podcasts, no Hogwarts theme park, and certainly no museum exhibits celebrating the wizarding world of the boy who lived. Yet the Seattle-based Museum of Pop Culture, MoPop, has decided to scrub all mention of that iconic author in its new Harry Potter exhibit. Why? Because she believes in basic biology. I'm having trouble disagreeing with them that's why. Rowling is not shy when it comes to expressing her feelings regarding gender identity. Her stance is one of common sense. Men are men, women are women, and women's spaces must be protected. That is true. That is all she said. Yeah. That there's a basic difference between men and women should have their own spaces. That's it.
Oh, what a monstrous thing to say in this golden age of the feminine penis.
But according to MoPop project manager Chris Moore, who views make her a cold, heartless, joy-sucking entity, Moore added that he would love to go with the internet's theory that these books were actually written without an author. You guys are retarded. Just saying.
Talk about reality denial.
These people act like Stalin, constantly erasing people that they used to like from history. That's true, Colorful Glasses.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Oh, as if these brilliant works of art. Okay, look, I like Harry Potter, but brilliant is a little bit too far. A little bit.
It's a cultural phenomenon. So
yes.
In a sense, I could see the argument that it's brilliant because it did create such a craze mania that hasn't happened in young adult literature since like Twilight, before that to some extent, but like Wizard of Oz did back in the day, because Wizard of Oz was the same kind of phenom. So I'll give her credit that it was a well done book that hit the culture at the right time.
I will always think Harry Potter was a good thing because it got a lot of kids to read in a time
Yeah.
when kids weren't reading very much.
It's just a shame that seems to be all they read.
Fair. No, some of them read Twilight too, which is just straight trash.
That's not literature, though. That's
just straight
internet
trash.
fanfic. Yeah.
Anyway, these brilliant works of art, a series of 7 best-selling novels, appeared out of thin air. That would be almost as magical as a person being able to change his or her gender depending on how they feel that day. Who wrote this? I want to give
From
them a
Outkick.
high five. Amber Harding. Well done, lady. Well done. But this certain person, they Voldemorted her.
Yeah, it did exactly what the books did. Oh, we can't say the name or she'll appear. Like she's coming to your house or something.
They turned her into she who shall not be named. Jesus Christ.
Bunch of babies.
But this certain person is a bit too vocal with their super hateful and divisive views to be ignored, Moore wrote in a blog post on Mopop's official website. For the time being, the curators decided to remove any of her artifacts from this gallery to reduce her impact.
Does she climate
Oh my
change
God.
now?
The post also refers to Rowling as she who must not be named.
There we are.
Fuck. A nod to the Harry Potter series villain Voldemort. The exhibit features memorabilia from the hit films, but it does not mention Rowling's name anywhere. It's not a perfect solution, Moore said, but it's what we're able to do in the short term while determining long-term practices. How about you stop being a pussy?
Oh, that's not going to happen. You see, the
Bold
problem
Rowling.
is they're trying to square the circle because they still love the books because they had such an impact on their lives. How many times do we say, let's talk about something else other than Harry Potter? But they can't because now she's a TERF and they don't agree with her. So they can't get past their nostalgia for the books and the characters and all that nonsense. So they can't separate the art from the artist. So they think they're Harry Potter. Oh, she who must not be named. We're so awesome. They still want that nostalgia without any of the having to explain why they like something by somebody that they don't disagree with.
Now they understand how Star Wars fans feel. That's a bad comparison because literally it's not like she changed the whole story. I mean, she did make Voldemort gay, going backwards, which was stupid.
Yeah, but it wasn't in any of the books. You could ignore that nonsense.
Yeah, you can ignore the shit that comes before it. So you got to, but that's not why they hate her. They hate her literally for shit she said completely unrelated to the books. They hate her for just saying that women are women.
Real quick, thank you, S. Cybertez, who says, I just want my rating to touch as many people as E.L. James's 50 Shades of Grey made bored, married, repressed women touch themselves. That's actually a pretty fair thing because that trash made a lot of fat, lonely box wine moms very, very happy. And release their inner goddess.
Those books, those are another one where they are absolute trash. They're not even comparable to the writing or storytelling in Harry Potter. By those standards, Harry Potter is like Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I forget her name, but the chick who wrote 50 Shades, those books are just trash.
E.L. James, I just said it.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
I wasn't listening to you, Jack.
Names don't resonate with me. You know that.
I know.
But
I know.
Her books, mostly by word of mouth, spread across the country because women need masturbatory material.
Yeah. They love softcore.
They love them. It's why Harlequin is still a fucking brand, man.
Yep. And once women hit menopause, they get so much worse about that shit.
They love the rub the nub books.
Yeah.
Double click the mouse books. Masturbating books.
I went to the laundromat one time to do my laundry, and somebody had left this box full of like Harlequin romance books.
Mm,
So I grabbed them all up. There were like 50 of them, and I took them over to a half price books and sold them. I
nice.
got like $20.
Those books will sell. Women like reading softcore porn. They just do.
Yeah, it's the biggest section in most bookstores is the romance section. So that and politics.
And if you guys don't let your wives lie to you, it's or your girlfriend. It's not romance. Pick them things up. They got porn in them. They don't go full on most of the time like 50 Shades did. And 50 Shades just showed women need a little bit harder softcore porn.
Yeah, it was spanking porn. It wasn't even like real bondage.
Not even the little bit of crappy bondage that they did have in there, the BDSM that they try to claim. Clearly, James has never been in any kind of BDSM relationship and hadn't done much research.
No, but she twisted it into like a feminist notion of like, instead of submission, it was empowerment because it was releasing the inner goddess. And if I had to read that phrase one more fucking time, I was going to freak the fuck out. It was like when I read the hardcover first edition of Tale of the Body Thief from Anne Rice. Every about 20 pages, somebody starts a sentence with "look," and it's right at the top of the page.
Look,
it pissed me off so bad.
How do you know that, Monkey? Research. I am not into bondage, spanking. I'm not into BDSM. I don't like to be hurt. I don't really like to hurt people unless I'm mad at them. I don't get any kind of joy out of like slapping an ass. I'll do it, if somebody wants it, but it doesn't do anything for me.
Sometimes your Asian girlfriend needs a spanking.
And look, I understand it, and I understand that lots of people like it. It's just not for me,
No, I understand.
But her book was just pure trash. And then the movie, oh my God, the end of the movie, give me the worst you got. And all he does is like gives her 7 hard spankings. And she's like, oh my God, it's just a runaway. Like, that's the worst BDSM. I read about that when this was all big, right? I used to read a lot of blogs about this, people making fun of it. And this one woman told a story about how her and her couple friend, because she had a couple that she used to hump, they went to a BDSM club and they tied her up with her hands above her head. And they just took turns punching her in the shoulder repeatedly until she was just exhausted from it. And then they banged her.
That's something to do, I guess.
Yeah. As Cybertaz, thank you. Don't I know it? My female fans tend to want the characters they've inspired customized to their own taste, desires, inclinations, and curiosities. Let me help you out there. Let me help you out. If you've ever watched, and I do recommend this, if you haven't watched it, go watch it, The Ultimate Pitch Meeting on Twilight. The Ultimate Twilight Pitch Meeting. Watch that, the whole thing. You can watch the individual movies because he has pitch meetings for each of them. But in the very first one, they're explaining Bella. He goes, what's her personality like? Oh, no, she doesn't have one. He goes, what? He goes, no, it's just a blank slate so that the women in the audience can project themselves onto her. Keep them as blank as possible. There you go. You're welcome. That way it can be, that's me. She's just like me. All right. I didn't mean to dog on Twilight and that shit tonight.
No, why not? It's fun.
It is. It is.
Super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience. I still watch that. I haven't watched it probably in a couple months. And now that I mentioned it again, I'll probably watch that tonight. That ultimate pitch meeting for Twilight makes me laugh every fucking time. When he gets to the part and you're like, what are we doing? I fucking lose it. All right. 7-Eleven worker who stopped would-be thief in Stockton, California are under investigation for assault. I haven't read this story yet, but I did see the title going around. I kind of get it. I kind of get why they would be investigating it for that. Not the, hopefully the investigation is over really quickly and like, yeah, there's no big deal here.
Yeah, but you know that's not why they're investigating them.
Pumpkin Trucker, thank you so much. Running late, but caught a short that was filmed at the Uvdar Hazy Museum. They have the Enola Gay on display. Right next to it's a little stunt plane with the Bud Light logo on its wings. You know, the reminder if why the Enola Gay needs to fly again. And thank you, as Cybertaz. No blank slate. I prefer fleshed out characters. I'm just telling you how to, if the women, you know, they're like, it needs to be like me. Just keep it blank, and they'll be like, this is the most. You know, there's I forget what author it was, but he was talking about the book that he got the worst reaction to. He's a horror author. People are like, that scene was just horrible. He's like, I didn't describe the scene at all. I just left it open, and it's all what they put in their heads of what it looked like. It's amazing what your readers will fill in for you. Anyway, on Saturday, Stockton, California police revealed they are investigating 2 7-Eleven store clerk. Did we talk about this on the stream?
Yeah, we didn't show the video, but we talked about it briefly. The guy filling the trash can with cigarettes.
And one of the store clerk guys grabs him, and the other one has a broom handle. Is it a broom or a mop? I don't even know.
I don't know.
And just
it's a stick.
Whips the shit out of this guy. And good on them for doing it. Anyway, on Saturday, Stockton police revealed they are investigating 2 7-Eleven store clerks for assault after a video of them beating a would-be robber went viral on the internet. Now, I saw a news post where they talked about this and they left out the fact this guy threatened to shoot them. He kept reaching under his, is it a hoodie or was he actually wearing a jacket? I can't remember.
I don't remember, but yeah, he kept threatening to shoot them.
Mm-hmm. In a Facebook post, the Stockton Police Department said it was able to combine the investigations of the suspected robberies and suspected assault because of the diligence of a witness recording the event that took place. This is a 7-Eleven. Why isn't there closed caption or internal CRT, CTR,
CCTV?
Whatever. Yes, thank you, CCTV.
Well, the cops probably have the video.
The looter was threatening to shoot the workers and at multiple times appeared to pull something out of his back pocket. Actually, it looked like he was reaching into his waistband. Closed circuit, that's what I was looking for. The video shared across social media this week showed a man behind the counter shoveling cigarettes into a trash can. By the way, this isn't the first time this guy's robbed them either.
This is the third, I think. It says in the article.
He didn't even take any precautions to cover his face. I mean,
no, they already know who he is. I mean,
yeah,
he's been there a couple times. Like, hey, remember me? No, I'm here.
The video shared across social media this week showed the man behind the counter shoveling cigarettes into the trash can. As he moved from behind the counter, one of the employees grabbed him and held him while the other one hit him with a stick. He continued to hit him multiple times while the man was on the ground. Listening to that man beg him to stop beating him is one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time.
You know, the Sikhs would have been smart to say, stop resisting. And then
Yes.
they could tell the cops, we learned it by watching you.
Police said the man is suspected of committing 2 other robberies at the same 7-Eleven within 24 hours of the recorded incident. In the first incident, they said on July 28, 2023 at 3:41 a.m., an employee of a 7-Eleven reported a suspect entered the business, went behind the counter, and threatened to shoot the victim if he intervened. Suspect then took several packs of cigarettes and other items and then placed them in a large garbage bag before fleeing. At around 12:27 a.m. the next day, the employees reported the same suspect from the previous incident entered the business and demanded money while simultaneously having a handgun. The employee did not comply, therefore the suspect grabbed several food items and placed them in a garbage bag before fleeing. This is how you know he didn't really have a gun or didn't have the balls to use it if he did. Good on them for whipping his ass. It's not a good idea to not comply, because if they do have a gun, you can get your ass shot.
Yeah, but I get it. They're from a country where if somebody wrongs you, you can chase them with a machete. They don't exactly have a lot of local cops in India. So, I mean, I get their response to this. Did they go overboard? Maybe. But you know what? They've been robbed a couple times already by the same asshole. And cigarettes are fucking expensive.
I get the idea of going too far because they beat the shit out of this guy.
Yeah,
but it was
you know
also it was also in the moment.
Yeah, honestly, they were probably scared for their lives, and adrenaline gets going. But at the same time, how often do shoplifters get arrested? These guys have lost thousands of dollars to these scumbags that come in and take whatever they want in California. We've seen it all over California. At what point do people snap and start taking the law into their own hands? Because the cops won't do their jobs, especially if they prosecute these guys. You're going to create more vigilantism. And what they're going to do is they're going to kill these guys and stop calling the cops.
The man who filmed the video told WABI that he fears that things would have been worse if he wasn't there to try and calm the situation. The man who identified himself as Deba said he told them, "No, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing you can do. Just let them take it and just go," as the man was stealing stuff. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the things that pissed me off watching that video is the guy filming. He's like, "No, just let him take it. Just don't try to stop him.
He just wants some bread." I'm kind of tired of the crime wave, honestly. Real quick, though, I got a couple things here. Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker. To be fair, the Udvar Hazy Museum also has an SR-71 in the Space Shuttle Discovery. And for some fucking reason, a mailbox painted to look like R2-D2 and the model for the Close Encounters mothership. Yes, R2-D2 and traffic lights are on the mothership. But doesn't make the beep, beep, beep noise, because then I'm okay with it. Rooftop Koreans, right? And thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. I understand stores not wanting their employees to get involved in a theft. However, you've got to admit that if caught and getting the dog shit beat out of you for stealing, theft would go down. Yeah, I have no problem with bringing back stockades or caning.
Caning, thank you.
But with the little enforcement going on in California, this does not surprise me at all. People are going to take the law into their own hands if the system won't do their jobs. And protecting people from getting robbed by locking up criminals is what the cops and the law enforcement community as a whole is supposed to be doing. And they haven't been doing it because they're afraid of getting called racist, or they're lazy and incompetent. Pick your favorite answer, because they're probably all accurate.
With the way this guy was allowing them, because he wasn't using a gun to hold them in one place. The guy who ends up beating him with a stick gets pretty close to him on several occasions. If I were them, I would have found something really heavy and knocked this fucker in the head and probably accidentally killed him. Travis Gardner, thank you. I would like to see much more of this. We've talked many times about how when they stop enforcing crime, that's how you get vigilantes. And that's basically what we saw here.
And it's what we're going to continue to see, because they're going to start prosecuting these guys, and then they'll escalate till they're just going to kill them and dump them somewhere.
Yep.
Because that's how it goes. It's a predictable line. Adabisi said, "Get caught stealing while I was in Nigeria, you forfeit your life." That's how a lot of countries do it. Don't steal from people. If you're lucky, you just lose a hand. But they'll kill you. They don't care. Oh. You're taking their livelihood. And in a poor country like Nigeria, they're not going to abide by that, because there's no insurance there. Destroy somebody's livelihood, their life is ruined. They're not going to put up with that.
In the video, the guy filming, he asked the guy, "You guys have insurance, right?" That's an excuse for letting people steal.
It's become one. It's the leftist go-to. Oh, well, they have insurance. Well, everybody's insurance rates go up then, asshole. And how many times do you have to let people steal? They're not just doing it because they're hungry. They're doing it because they want free stuff.
This guy was stealing cigarettes. Unless he's eating, dried out tobacco, he wasn't doing this because he was hungry.
No,
he was doing this for money because he can go sell those on the street.
Exactly. And Eagle, you're not wrong. The George Soros funded prosecutors are a big part of the problem.
We need to get out of this mentality that, hey, they have insurance. Doesn't matter. You know what? I would be like, you have medical insurance, right? You should, because I'm about to whip your ass.
Yeah, I hope your Blue Cross is paid up.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of the excuses for the criminals. It's such a ridiculous way of looking at the world, and mildly racist if you're talking about black criminals, because they tend to excuse black crime a lot more for some reason, because they think that black people are dumb.
Of George Floyd, Jack.
Oh, Saint Floyd of fentanyl.
And the fat guy, the fat kid that got shot by the police officer because he'd been stealing that day too.
Oh, Mikey Brown.
Yeah, Mikey Brown. Thank you.
He's just a big lovable teddy bear that tried to grab a cop's gun and robbed some guy with strong arm robbery. Yeah, fuck you and your desire to steal my stuff. I'm not valuing my stuff over your life. You're valuing my stuff over your life.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
And I'm fine with people defending their property, and that's what this was.
Yeah. Apparently they should have just had a gun on hand and killed him, because then they wouldn't have been in any trouble. That's the lesson I'm learning here.
They probably still would have been in trouble. They would have been put under investigation for murder. We saw that with that. Was it in New York?
Yeah, that was in New York with that was a different Indian guy. But thankfully there was enough negative press coverage they dropped that one, because that was that Alvin Bragg over there.
Yeah.
That piece of shit. We got so many people that would rather put away innocent victims than do something about the actual criminals. Because how dare you fight back? How dare you? We need to redistribute this wealth to the poor freeloader that wants to steal your shit, even though he's probably not poor and he's stealing stuff.
Faithless says that was a Latino. Fair enough. Yeah, fuck these guys. Fuck that criminal. And hopefully that this gets dropped. And look, I understand them having to investigate. But a lot of times, Jack, you investigate and you go, yeah, there's nothing here. You don't announce that you're investigating the person, because by that time it's done. He was stealing from you? Yeah. You beat him with a stick? Yeah. All right. There's our investigation.
Yeah, I just don't get it, man. Yeah, exactly. Eagle, a 7-Eleven franchise owner, your profit margin on the high end is only 15%. Most retail, the highest percentage you're going to get is 35%. And that is amazing. That is dog shit.
It is amazing how much money people think businesses are making compared to what they actually make. Because they'll look at like McDonald's and like, oh, McDonald's made $200 million this year. So my local franchise, they should be able to have more people on staff. Most people cannot sustain themselves owning one McDonald's. You have to own like 4.
Yeah, because the margins aren't that good.
Margins aren't that good. You don't make that big of a profit off of it. But they all think they do, man. Everybody thinks that these businesses are just making money hand over fist. Money's changing hand, but that's not profit. They got to, pay the bills, restock. If you're a franchise, pay your franchise fees.
Yeah, plus taxes, which are ludicrously high on small businesses. You have to pay all your, various other expenses. Somebody breaks a window, your mop breaks. There's a million little expenses that can nickel and dime you. Not to mention all the regulations you have to go through, the health inspections, a lot of which are just bullshit they do to get a couple extra bucks for the government. All the permits you need. It's insane. Being a small business owner is almost not worth it anymore, which, is just going to make Amazon even bigger.
Eagle says, I know my son owns franchise. Yeah. So yeah, I used to talk to our owner when I worked at McDonald's way back in the day. He owned 9 stores. And there were several of them that weren't profitable at all. They broke even.
Yeah.
Our store paid for most of everything because we were one of the busiest stores. But yeah, people, and you have people like Hassan, we mentioned that dumbass earlier, who spread this nonsense. Oh, they have all this money. You know how much money that guy probably makes from his cart every day?
$200.
And a lot of that just goes back into restocking. And Hassan's dumbass, $3 worth of Doritos. Fuck you.
You want to watch that video?
Yeah, we can watch that video.
Well, I don't care. Thank you, Travis Gardner. If they don't get a handle on the crime, you'll see much more taking the law into their own hands, or El Salvador just rounding up anyone suspected of being a criminal and packing the prisons. And I am close to the second. Yeah, I'm getting there myself.
Let's see. I'm trying to find the video.
No, I have it on my timeline.
I got it. Yeah, I went to your timeline to find it.
Oh, even better. You beat me to my own timeline.
I did indeed. You were talking, so I figured this is a good time to go grab it.
Yeah, you were correct.
Innocent.
All right, so
Innocent victim in all of this, that he was just doing his job, going about his day, and his business got ransacked there. But from where we are here, it does that the officers are heading back. In terms of
see what they're doing,
being able to disperse this crowd that they were able to do. We did a story a couple of weeks ago about how they were able to go after scooters by kind of circumventing them in that sense.
Oh, that's right. Thank you again. Let me grab this and we'll finish up with that. I fucking hate people who eat on stream.
Like, I mute myself when I'm eating for that reason. Nobody needs to hear the sound of me chewing. It's weird.
I saw that retard when he was talking to Ethan. He goes, sometimes you just have to eat on stream because it's 12 hours. Take a half-hour break.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
It's not like you won't leave a video playing of somebody else's anyway.
Anyway, Dark Resurrect, thank you. What these retards fail to understand is that business owners have a plethora of bills to pay: distributors, utilities, insurance, maintenance, employees, not to mention the owner's personal bills. True.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to pay his employees and himself. There's not much profit in running those kind of stores.
All right. Here comes his hot take.
And from my perspective, that's...
I fucking despise local media, dude. There you go. There is no better representation of how dog water local media is and how much they exacerbate like narratives that you see on Fox News. What role they play in the boomer reactionary pipeline. Local media talking about $3 worth of fucking Doritos. Like, there was a bank run or some shit.
Like there was a bank run?
Yeah, bank run when everybody rushes to get the money out.
Yeah, but they don't generally destroy the bank when they do that?
No, but Hassan's an idiot. He's never run a small business, obviously. And he doesn't know what a bank run is because he's a stupid commie.
Yeah, what his dumbass meant to say was like a bank heist or a bank robbery. But he's a retard, so...
Yeah.
It was a PS5 run. You're not wrong. I got more to say, but YouTube's going to censor my ass. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world.
Right. Thank you, Evolved Potato. My family got lucky because they bought an already established business in a small suppliers with lots of demand because it costs a shit ton to start out. They work 12 plus hours in most weekends. Fuck these people that think it's just so easy. Well, it's because they've never worked in any industry like that on the management end because they're stupid, or they've never worked in retail or any kind of business aspect where they have to do stuff like that. It's easy to sit in your fucking bedroom, your spare bedroom, which doubles as your home office, eating your goddamn Uber Eats in your mansion and tell other people how they should live. That's fucking pathetic. Get a real job, you piece of shit.
Even most people who work retail or service never see the books. You have to get a little bit higher up to even see the books, and that's when you start seeing how much you actually make.
Yeah, these people are the same ones that have no respect for their waiters or valets or anything like that. Any working class person, somebody like Hassan will shit all over because he's never been down on the bottom rung before. He's never had to struggle. He's never ever had to put in a hard day's real work in his entire fucking life. He's never dug a ditch. He's probably never dug a hole. I detest people like this. that they're so out of touch with working people, which is the majority of the world. He sits in his little perch like a goddamn elitist that he is, and it sickens me. I'm so tired of these people. I understand why the French use the guillotine. I really get it.
All right, Jack, I'm just doing something real quick. Wait, why won't this let me do? Oh, there we go. Let me type. Oh, there, it did let me type. I just wasn't paying attention. Whoops. This is the worst inflation calculator I've ever used. All right. And this is from the BLS. Okay. So back when I worked at McDonald's, Jack.
A long, long ago in the before times?
Back in 93. I remember our highest day ever. Total sales. And total sales, sorry, our biggest hour, we made $2,000. And I was working, everybody there, every station filled, extra people, $2,000. That's what we made with all the people who came through. That calculates to about 5,000 now. Wow. And most of that was going right back out to suppliers, all the people that were on the floor, the electricity that was being used, all of that. I mean, some of it, yes. Oh, good. We had a great day. But the majority of the time, we weren't making that kind of money. The majority of the time, I mean, we had $500 hours. And that's when we're like, oh, shit, we got to send everybody home because we're losing money right now. But that's the kind of shit that fucking retard will never know because he's had a silver spoon in his little commie mouth his whole life. All right. Oh, God. Opinion.
What?
A neuroscientist warns we're watching the largest and most dangerous cult in American history. Donald Trump. I'm guessing.
What do you think?
This article was paid for by Raw Story subscribers. Not a subscriber? Try us and go ad-free for $1. Shut up. I was dying.
Literally dying.
It was just a matter of time. Lying behind the wheel of an airplane, bleeding out on the right side of my devastated body, I waited for the rapid shooting to stop. Former Representative Jackie Spearer, in her memoir, Undaunted Surviving Jonestown, summoning courage and fighting back. Oh, is she the one of the Congress people who got shot down there?
I think she was one of the people that lived on the compound.
Frosty Glass, thank you. Born with a silver nuggie in his mouth. Right.
True.
All right, we're just getting examples. It combined with everything else that was going on made it difficult to breathe, being crushed by the shield and the people behind it, leaving me defenseless, injured. Metropolitan Police Officer Daniel Hodges describing being crushed in a doorway during January 6th. All right.
Those are both examples that are on par with each other.
Yeah, the one chick was literally bleeding.
In a cult compound, miles from help, by the way.
Yeah, how many? Didn't a congressperson die down there?
Yeah, a congressman got shot to death.
In both of the examples above, the individual speaking was the victim of extreme violence perpetrated by followers of a single person whose influence had spread to hundreds of people. In the case of January 6th, thousands of people. In fact, Spears' experience with Jim Jones followers was part of a single greatest loss of American life, 918 people, prior to 9/11. I mean, yeah, not exactly. Not exactly.
Hey, we have a narrative here, sir. Sir, identifying person.
As far as I remember, I mean, there were some people shot at the compound down there in Jonestown.
Yes, people that tried to escape got shot.
But most of them willingly took the flavor aid and
Well,
were
the ones that didn't take it willingly were at gunpoint, and we're never
Yeah.
going to know the extent of how many of each.
These followers have been given an umbrella name, cult, and have been involved what's traditionally called brainwashing. I need somebody to explain to me how Donald Trump is on par with Jim Jones.
Because he's a monster monkey. A monster.
The cult leader received seemingly undying support as the dear leader or savior. However, the term brainwashing suggests that indoctrinated members are robots without free will. Behavioral scientists argue that this is not the case. It's an oversimplification. You're an idiot, dude. I don't even need to read more to know that. Rather than being seen as passive victims to an irreversible force, psychiatrists. I'm rolling my eyes right now. I'm sorry.
I thought I heard something.
Psychiatrist Robert Lifton argues that there is voluntary self-surrender in one's entrance into a cult. Well, I mean, yeah, they're not taking at gunpoint into the cult, but they are brainwashed with bullshit. Further, the decision to give up control as part of the cult process may actually be part of the reason why people join. Research and experience tell us that those who are cult vulnerable may have a sense of confusion or separation. Dude, you are in the TDS cult, man.
Yep.
Separation from society or seek the same sort of highly controlled environment that was part of their childhood. It's also been
your parents were evil religious people, so ergo you're brainwashed because you need a Christ-like figure. See, it's a stupid fucking. This is the way that that crazy people think, that we're righteous, and if you like somebody that I hate, you're a cultist. You obviously it's a MAGA cult, the red hat cult. Ugh.
It's also been suggested that those who are at risk for cult membership feel an enormous lack of control in the face of uncertainty, i.e., economic, occupational, academic, social, familial, and will gravitate more toward. No, a lot of these people have very loving families that they turn their backs on. What are you talking about?
No,
part of the whole cult process is to reject your family and friends.
You can convert them
to the
dark side
because they're against you.
Yeah, it's no longer the dark side; it's the Trump side now.
I would argue that many of these factors are at play when we see the ongoing support of Trumpism and MAGA theology.
Oh, MAGA theology, ultra MAGA theology.
All right.
Thank you, K through 12 at universities. Exactly, Eagle.
Oh, we got another psychologist. Oh, the other one was a psychiatrist. I'm sorry. Psychologist Leon Festering. Probably one of the best names for a psychologist ever. Described the phenomenon of cognitive dissonance in which there is a disconnect between one's feelings, beliefs, and convictions and their observable actions. This dissonance is distressing, and in order to relieve the anxiety, people may become more invested in the cult or belief system that goes against who they are individually. Well, are these people, if you are cult accessible, isn't that who you are then? How's it going against who you are if it's who you are that led you there, dumbass?
Look, the inconsistencies in this article are because you don't understand, you're not smart enough, you're not as educated in academia as they are, so you should just listen. You don't even have your own laboratory, monkey.
Look, I've argued with Trumpers who are clearly dug in and, yeah, I would even say acting cult-like. But it is nothing compared to everything else I'm seeing.
What? No, that's education. Brainwashing, like I just said in chat a minute ago, brainwashing is what Republicans do after they pounce.
As such, cult members will become more dug in and will cling to thoughts and beliefs that contradict available evidence. In other words, they are no longer able to find a middle ground or compromise. Don't make me. You're going to make me say words I'm not supposed to say on here.
You monster.
I saw people genuinely suggest that you should never let grandparents see their grandchildren if they voted for Trump.
Yep. You remember when they did that commercial by all the celebrities trying to get the electoral college to change their votes back in 2016?
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about that anymore, though.
100% projection. Like I said, there are some Trump fans who are a little too fanatical.
Yeah, you get that with everything, though. Sports included.
Of course. But when it comes to, the politics, I'm not reading the rest of this stupid shit. Fuck this guy. When it comes to politics in America, Trump supporters have nothing on the left. Go fuck yourself.
Oh my God, so true.
I've seen it more and more, and I've warned about this with people on the right. You are starting to act like the left, and you need to back off a little. You need to relax. But people on the left, I can't even say that to because they won't even listen to my voice and instead just ascribe things to me that I've never fucking said because I have to be that bad because I don't subscribe to their way of thinking.
You are a MAGA supporter.
Yes, even though I'm not. JB, thank you. Did you hear about the Sound of Freedom movie funder charged with kidnapping? It's crazy. They're trying to destroy the movie all over again. Have to Jack. Thank you so much for that double feminist $12.
Woo, thank you, JB.
I did, and in this case, have you seen it, Jack?
Yes, it's a custody dispute,
and it's nonsensical because they keep doing this. They supported the movie. They were, what do they call them? They don't quite go so far as to call them producers, but these are people who backed it on GoFundMe.
Yeah, so they could finish the editing process or something to get it released.
Yep. And they're like, oh my God, they supported on GoFundMe.
They made it sound like he was a location scout or something. Like he had a major involvement. He donated $500. That was it.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that stupid ass story. And because it was fucking retarded, I just moved past it.
It's amazing the lengths they're going to tear down a movie about child trafficking.
Yeah. For the record, I didn't just move past it. I actually read into it. That's how I know that they're full of shit and that they were just like, yes, and they never put that in the beginning. They never put that in the beginning of the story. A guy who gave a donation on GoFundMe, they never say it like that.
Oh, no. They got to frame it a specific way.
In the one, they even show a clip because he put on there that he helped fund the movie in a Twitter post. Well, technically, yes.
Yeah. But that's when you share links from like GoFundMe after you make a donation. It's the same thing with Indiegogo or Kickstarter. Like, I helped with this project.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean shit, dude. You're just telling other people that you did this, so if they're friends of yours, or fans, they'll go and support it too. It's just like free advertising.
And they're, like you said, it is amazing. This is a movie, whether you like the guy who it's based on or not, this is a movie about child trafficking. Like, oh my God. How dare they?
That's amazing because the left is usually big on raising awareness.
You know what another movie about child trafficking that I've never heard them bitch about?
Epstein, what?
Taken.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Taken was a movie about child trafficking. And the guy goes and saves his daughter.
Yeah.
I've never once heard these people, oh my God, this is a movie, and it really makes it look like you should be running out there and doing no, but it's just because it's this guy who fights child trafficking. And yeah, they're fucking retarded, man.
I think most people complaining should probably have their hard drives checked, but
yeah, that's almost a definite.
How many of them do you think are teachers? Because I bet the teachers union really hates that movie.
A good number, easily, yeah. Liam Neeson's best movie is Darkman Fight Me. Darkman was all right. I'm not as big a fan as a lot of people our age.
Yeah, I
It's
like
all
that
right.
movie. It was fun. It's good cheesy superhero action. But Liam Neeson's best movie? Oh, that's a tough one. Crawl. It had a glaive.
I'm going with Phantom Menace. But
Phantom Menace was a good choice.
Because of Jar Jar.
Yeah, everybody liked Jar Jar. Hopefully they do a movie about him. Did you ever read this short story about what happens to Jar Jar in the compilation books?
Nah, I don't
really
read books.
Yeah, he becomes like a homeless beggar because he realizes that he created Darth Vader.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, it's really fucking dark.
He should have thrown himself into a Sarlacc pit.
Why he would have survived.
Because then he could be tortured and get his redemption and come out.
Oh, yeah. Team up with Boba Fett.
What's the new Star Wars that's coming out that's all rah-rah girly girl?
Ahsoka.
Okay, yeah.
Which could be good because apparently I've been corrected on this. There's a girl in there that has like purple or blue hair or some nonsense. And I was immediately like, oh, fuck this. But apparently she's from the Clone Wars cartoon and she's not, it predates like the feminist hair dye craze.
No, it doesn't. They were doing that shit back then.
That's just what I was told. So, no, not the movie, The Clone Wars, the cartoon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just telling you that they're saying she's not a feminist icon. So it might be actually good.
The
but
blue hair
I don't have a
shit
lot of faith in that.
Blue hair shit starts in the early 90s. It just didn't catch on it took a while for Tumblr to make it a big thing.
Yeah, well, I count the Tumblr era as it because that's where it really took off.
When I see movies nowadays, I can't help but start counting how many women are on the screen in the trailer. And it gets to a point where I'm like, yep, not watching that shit.
Oh, yeah, I'm the same way.
All right. California authorities capture suspects in break-ins at Lake Tahoe homes, a mama bear, and 3 cubs. At least it wasn't a creepy dude sucking toes.
Oh, right.
That is a big-ass bear.
Well, she's got kids to feed. That's a big old mama bear.
California authorities have captured 4 suspects nice, in multiple break-ins at homes around South Lake Tahoe. You got to figure that those people were happy they weren't home at the time.
Yeah, you would think so. I'm getting corrected. It was Rebels. I don't fucking care. I'm not going to watch this cartoon, okay? People tell me it's good. Maybe someday I'll get around to it. I don't care about cartoons. And it's her head, not her hair. I also don't care about that. I'm sorry.
I will just say this. I if it's not in the movies, I don't consider it canon. And I know that pisses people off. But the books and the cartoons, I don't give a shit. I should not have to read a book to know what's going on in a movie.
That's true. But you can explore additional adventures.
If it's additional adventures, that's one thing.
Yeah, that's what the books are. They're expanding. That's why it's called the expanded universe.
I'm still not reading their books.
Oh,
the only books I've ever read from like a universe like that was Star Trek, because they actually have some good books.
They do. A lot of them written by Peter David, who just recently had a stroke.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, he did like 10 years on the Incredible Hulk, and it was some of the better Hulk stories out there. So yeah, he had a stroke. He wrote a lot of books under the name David Peters. That was one of his pen names. But he wrote a lot of the Star Trek books, and he wrote a bunch of other sci-fi interconnected books. So if you ever see that name, that's who it was. And he just had a stroke. He's kind of a douchebag in real life, but a really solid writer, especially on the Star Trek stuff. Real
quick, we were asked by no one, are we sure it's not people in bear suits? That's a good question.
Well, it wasn't in China, so...
Yeah, and Devil Fruit says, how many is too many women in a movie? it's not necessarily even how many women is in it. It's their role in the movie. If I see some skinny little woman kicking the shit out of 400-pound men, I'm just like, nah, bro.
There has
But
to be a
otherwise,
good reason for it. Like she's
yeah, if there's not a if there's not a fight scene in it, it's typically just if it's like, okay, that is a role that could be filled by man or woman, and they clearly just went, I'll throw a woman in there. Because it happens all the goddamn time. And while it might not be necessarily meaningful to the story, Jack, it's annoying. And I'm getting tired of the rah-rah women shit.
Yeah, it's old.
Yep.
Oh, real quick. Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker. The Dark Man was good, but see your melting face and raise hillbillies. So next of kin. As a bonus, Ben Stiller is buried alive. I don't think I've ever seen Next of Kin. Is that the movie with Patrick Swayze?
I was gonna say, isn't Next to Kin a Swayze movie?
I might have seen it. I just don't remember it. Yeah, because his brother or something gets killed, and he comes from the woods with his couple of buddies or whatever to get revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw it, but a long time ago.
Yeah, I'll have to look that one up. I haven't seen that in a really long time.
There's a lot of those kind of movies. Swayze and Seagal and that weird guy who likes to show his butt, Van Damme, that I know I saw when they came out on video and don't remember shit about them.
Yeah.
Anyway, DNA has confirmed the large female black bear and her 3 little accomplices were responsible for at least 21 instances of property damage since 2022. Damn.
Yeah, busy kids. I mean, they learned a new tactic.
The mama and her babies were safely immobilized. They hit him in the head with a brick. On Friday, the adult female, known to researchers as 64F, will likely be taken to a sprawling wildlife sanctuary near Springfield, Colorado. Her cubs could end up at a rehabilitation.
I'm surprised they didn't go through restorative justice where they had to apologize to people.
Right. A rehabilitation facility in Sonoma County in the hopes they can continue the negative behaviors they learned from the sow and can be returned to the wild. You're going to train a bear not to break into houses.
I learned it by watching you.
Right? 64F, who was outfitted with a tracking device earlier this year, is one of 3 adult bears identified last year as being responsible for 150 incident reports, including property damage in the Lake region straddling Northern California and Nevada. You might want to get them out of there.
Yeah, you would think, and this is where it ties into a previous article.
Originally, it was believed to be a single large black bear, the public nicknamed Hank the Tank, that had been destroying homes. Haven't we seen video of him?
Yes. We had talked about one of the bears they caught previously that they thought was Hank the Tank, but it turned out to be 3. This is one of the other 3.
Gotcha. Okay. Eventually, Fish and Wildlife announced that it was actually 3 separate bears responsible for the mayhem. They're bears. What do you expect them to be doing?
Apparently
They're hungry.
Breaking and entering.
They're hungry. They're looking for food.
Yeah, fuck hungry hippos. You got an adventure game here.
You put your houses on a lake where there's bears. Jack, do you know where bears go for food? Typically,
anywhere there's food.
Typically, they go to the water.
Yeah, because they catch fish and
eat
things that are drinking water,
And you come along and build your house there, and they go, I think I smell leftovers.
Yeah, bears aren't entirely stupid. They will go where they smell food. And if they figure out how to get in your house, they're going to get in your fucking house.
Yep. They're pretty big too. They can break shit.
Yeah, they're hundreds of pounds. They look for picnic baskets. Yes. Oh, hey, Keeper Dam.
We'd expect them to do the bare necessities. Stop it. How dare you? How dare you, sir? Anyhow. Oh, good God. What is this? Whoops. I made it too big. That's what she said. Da, da, da. She blew on the tip. All right. I don't know what this is. This is two people in a fountain, and there's a dog right there.
Uh-huh.
There's a puppy, and an old man, and a woman.
Yep.
Hope. We dropped the link, so if it's
I already
choppy.
did.
Thank you. Her doggy just wants to play. I gotta turn that down. That's loud as shit. Her doggy just wants to play. Good on doggy. I'm glad he got back in the water and enjoyed himself.
I'm kind of torn because this is probably some historical landmark, but at the same time, did
He
you
ain't hurting
expect your
it.
dog not to go in there, you idiot? This
He
is
ain't-
a bad dog owner. Should have brought a lead.
It's not made out of plastic. He's not hurting that stone fountain.
I don't know what that dog's doing in there. He might be a demolitionist. I've seen dogs do some crazy stuff. I saw one go after a coyote for a long time. Yeah, they were both on the clock, but that's not the point. And he would like pick it up by the neck and punch it a bunch of times. So you never know.
In fairness, that coyote deserved it.
Yeah, he was after the sheep, but that's not the point. Yes, I based most of my knowledge on Looney Tunes cartoons, but that's neither here nor there. This is a bad dog owner because she should have had it on a leash. He's got a collar, so
Look.
obviously she could attach one.
Bad dog owner, good doggy.
Well, the dog was just doing dog stuff.
Doggy was being a
It was
dog.
obviously a game after she was like, "Come on," and he's like, "No, no," and then it became a game.
Yeah, it's just he's trying to get away from her, having fun.
Yeah.
I'm not usually a dog person, but I'm on the dog's side here. Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker. So I was hanging with my wife at work resort. Radio chirps up, maintenance. Yes. A guest has reported a bear walking towards the lake. What do you want us to do about it, right? You call me like, there's a bear here. Like, I don't know what to tell you. We do have bears around these parts, Jack. Do you guys have bears down that way?
Not around me, but I know Southern Ohio's got some. I don't think there's any bears around me, other than big gay biker dudes. There's a lot of them.
My friend was driving to his house, going home from work one day, and he passed a bear about 100 yards from his driveway. I was like, "What'd you do?" He went, "I pulled in, ran in the house, and locked the door." Like, that makes sense. He's got pictures of it too. I'm like, you shouldn't be using your phone when you're driving, jackass. And this was on a dirt road too. Uh-oh.
What?
I see who we have next. God damn it. Stop it.
What?
It's a pain in the ass man, TikTok videos.
TikTok sucks.
TikTok sucks. Dookie balls, man.
Yeah, it's probably coated in lead too because it's Chinese.
Pirate Bob, thank you so much for joining the channel. I appreciate it. You know, I haven't done this all night. Guys, we're brought to you by you. Hit the like button, the share button. If you would, consider joining the channel or donating to Jack or myself. Link is at the top of your YouTube chat. It's also in the description of YouTube and Rumble videos.
Indeed. You could donate to the Streamlabs while we're off the air too, and we'll read them on the next show.
All right. My favorite retard. Oh, looks like she's lost some weight. Good on you, lady.
For decades, the collapse of the late Bronze Age and
Can that go any louder?
Nope.
Oh, my bad.
For decades, the collapse of the late Bronze Age and the emergence of the Sea Peoples has confused historians and archaeologists. However, geologists in Sweden seem to have solved the problem. It was a mega tsunami that hit Sweden. Duh. Wait, what? This is the Kali crater and surrounding craters. They hit Estonia with so much force that it caused a 9.0 earthquake, and a tsunami went whoosh all the way over that way. Latest researchers collated 15 sites that showed evidence of this mega tsunami.
Why does she keep saying that like she's got air quotes going on?
This is Rome Girl, dude.
All right.
Note that 20 meters on the right side there. Here is the location of all of those sites. That's in meters, so the waves were anywhere between 40 and 65 feet tall. One day in the Nordic Bronze Age, people woke up to discover that the gods had lobbed a fiery ball out of the sky, causing a 6-story wave to wipe out their entire civilization. So yeah, that's where the Sea Peoples came from. The survivors of what appeared to be a act of gods. For decades.
What the fuck is she talking about?
So the Egyptians recorded that they were invaded a couple times by these people called the Sea Peoples. That's
Sure.
the description. They didn't really know where they came from. And it's been a historical mystery because other places in the region said they were attacked by these people from the sea. And now she's saying they're Swedes that survived a tsunami, so they built a bunch of boats and went down to the Mediterranean. Because, the Vikings weren't a real thing, and they made it down to at least Paris, because they sacked Paris. But no, it couldn't have been the Etruscans either, or any of the other regional powers. It had to be the Swedes because they experienced a tsunami. So what do you do when your half your people are wiped out by a tsunami that's 6 stories tall? You go raid people thousands of miles away. It makes perfect sense. Maybe they stopped off at the circus too.
See, guys, this is why you can't listen to this woman. This is the kind of shit she comes up with. She'll find some theory. I'm sure there's some idiot who said, look, tsunami, brand new civilization that could attack the Egyptians and not get completely wiped out at the time.
Travis, you're probably right. This is the least stupid of all her theories.
I don't know about that, man. Do you know how long it takes civilizations to rebuild?
No, they just built boats out of the driftwood that no doubt washed up on their shores.
I know because I can barely hear her, but I mean, do you really need to hear her? No. But it's a good example of the kind of stuff that she will hear somewhere and just run with.
Yeah, the way she draws connections are very odd, and I have to think a lot of it is put out by somebody else.
Lion Patriot says the Bronze Age collapse is fascinating to learn about. It's not something I've looked into before. Maybe when I get bored one day, I will. And they got washed all the way across Europe into the Mediterranean. Apparently, Faithless. Look, I never said she was smart. I said she made me want to bang her. That's all.
Yeah, Travis said she's still a wood. I'm still on the fence. I would probably end up having sex with her. But I wouldn't personally. No, Matthias Jarbroni would. You can call me Matt. But yeah, he would bang her, I think. But I don't think I would tell anyone that.
I would bang the stupid out of her.
I don't know if that's a possibility.
In the middle, she'd be yelling, "Cicero was real." Yeah, this chick. Oh my gosh, she's so dumb. But it is a really good look at. Nuts says, "I'll pass." See, I told you guys Nuts was looking for a girlfriend. It's a really good example of how she comes up with her theories. She just grabs onto anything. You could probably get this woman to believe anything except reality. Anything except reality. So,
Colorful has a really good idea. It was traveling Chinese trying to find America.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, they got lost, and there was a big tsunami that floated them over, parts of Africa right into the coastline. They're like, "Oh, we take your stuff," and then moved on to America.
Okay, bad boy. I will answer this seriously. He says, "Why are you so into wanting to bang her? She makes the most dumb blonde look like a PhD professor." I can't explain it. I really can't. But there's just something like, oh hell yeah, I would tear that up. I don't know. It happens sometimes. I don't know if women. We've talked about this on the show before. I don't know if women have that, but all men out there, you can listen to this, or you can verify this. There'll be a woman that you know is not hot, and you're like, I want to dick her so bad, and there's no good justification.
Yeah, it's not because they're like super smart or successful. You're not going to marry them. You just want to have sex with her for whatever reason. Either she looks like she's going to do crazy shit in the bedroom, or just to like try and bang the stupid out of her. Whatever the reasoning, there's just there's some aura of naughtiness about her that you just want to have sex with and hopefully get away from as fast as possible.
It's something in our monkey brains. And yeah, several guys in chat are like, yeah, and not necessarily her, but there's somebody in your life where you're like, okay, I'd never tell a friend, but I would hit the shit out of that. I would deny it if she told anybody, but I would bang that until it hurt.
I would even dress as a Roman centurion from the circus.
Anyway, nah, y'all wrong. It was Anne Frank. She escaped the camp, climbed into the Nazi bell, and got teleported back in time using tech from the 40s and invaded Egypt. Cannibal solved it.
I like where your head's at, Cannibal.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show for tonight. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. Let's get Rome Girl off the screen there. Thank you for hanging out. I love you guys. We appreciate all the support. We really do. Don't forget to tell your friends, your family, bitch you hate, get them here watching. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so kind to us. We really do appreciate it. And I do want to point out, because we did have some disagreement. We like disagreement around here. And when it like the nuclear thing today, Jack, it's okay to disagree with us, because we're not the cult that some lefty shitbags are. Come hang out and disagree with us. It's always fun. Thank you for all the donations, though. You guys are awesome. Jack, anything you want to show?
I'll drop a link. Thank you guys so much for coming out and supporting us. Thanks for the donations. We appreciate you guys coming out. And eventually I will get some new videos out. It's a matter of timing.
Just make sure to use a gag, as her dumbness is probably contagious. Maybe.
I don't know. I kind of want her to like give a presentation while I'm fucking her on.
Yes.
Those are like Roman tokens from the circus. So, just talk to me about Rome.
From behind while you're pulling her hair.
Yeah.
And she's got a PowerPoint display in front of her.
Yeah. And she's got a little remote control thing, clicking the slides, and you're just in there banging away. That would be a pretty fun time. Not going to lie.
Can't imagine why more people don't watch us.
I know, it's amazing. You guys judge women, blah, blah, blah. You're an Ultra Mega supporter, blah, blah, blah.
Hey, Bubba, you awake? You want to play some Phasmo? I'm going to be over on my game stream playing something, Jack. That is on Ranting Monkey Games here on YouTube. I will probably, if Bubba's up, we'll play Phasmo for sure. If not, we'll jump back into Baldur's Gate 3. I will get back to 7 days, guys. Don't worry. I always do. But I'm kind of enjoying Baldur's Gate. Yeah, I think I can stay awake. Can you stay awake for 2 hours? We'll find out. Thank you guys for watching. Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Everyone, have a wonderful night. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
When you're hitting it from behind and she's got the PowerPoint going, you can't tell your friends or your degeneracy will be showing.
Don't finish till she says big top.